I know you heard me on the radio. Flexing, she loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K. I know you heard me on the radio. Flexing, she loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K.
I see Lucci creeping out of the side of the little thing, looking at people. What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing, man? It is Thursday. We are moments away from the NFL regular season finale.
I'm here. I'm here with you, old buddy.
The Miami Dolphins will take on the Buffalo Bills at Hard Rock, and representing the Buffalo Bills. And I said Buffalo Bills, not Bills Mafia.
That's right. That's right. Get it right.
Is my man Michael K. Oh damn, he left.
He got out quick. Greg's asking for the link in the chat.
Oh yeah. My bad. I'll send it to him. He's usually not available, so that's why. But I got him. So when Michael K comes back, he is the featured guest. There he is. Like I said, Buffalo Bills, not Bills Mafia. I know you don't like to associate with that.
I keep getting knocked off, guys, so bear with me. I might have to switch off of Wi-Fi after a while.
Oh, good. It's all good.
That's that.
Hey, by the way,
that Buffalo internet you got up there.
That Josh Allen internet
crash, just like it's weak, like the Bills.
Yeah, my internet's working like the Dolphins defense.
It's spotty.
Yeah,
in and out.
Absolutely.
Here's for Dolphiniers the Bills weekend, and for the kids being in the room for some quiet time.
No, if it was the Dolphins, it wouldn't intercept you. See how I was doing.
There you go.
You need some help.
I clicked on it first just off of my cell service, and it wasn't connecting. It said no internet connection, so I had to switch over to Wi-Fi. And then for whatever reason, I might have to reboot my phone. Let's see if it happens again.
Okay.
We got
Adam.
Greg.
How you doing, bud?
What's going on, Greg?
What's up, everybody?
What on, Greg?
What's up?
Oh, he's at work.
Break room.
Yeah.
Break room? Question mark. Adam, you gonna come tailgate or what, bro? Come on down. I'll have a spot on these 12 for you.
Damn, if I can open up this fucking. Yeah, fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger open this shit up.
I tell you, I'd open it if I was there. You're using your Josh Allen muscles. You gotta use them Christian Wilkins.
Christian Wilkins, what you want me to pull a towel out?
Is there a towel? Get a towel.
Dolphinier, where are you at? Usually Christian. Hey, by the way, usually Christian Wilkins.
Color, how's it doing?
Imitates a Power Ranger, but last Sunday he was imitating David Copperfield. He disappeared.
Huh?
Yeah.
Hey, color commentary says his internet connection is as reliable as Alan Diggs' connection the last few weeks.
Actually, it might be worse. if that's even possible.
Yeah.
If that's even possible, and that's all Joe Brady. I don't care what any of these idiot Buffalo content creators say.
Yeah, these
guys. So you're not a fan of Joe Brady?
Not yet. I'm not.
And so let me ask you a question, Mike. Are the Buffalo content creators? Is there some that are as delusional as a lot of the ones for us Dolphins that like believe Tua is the guy and he's the chosen one and all that? Do you guys have weirdos like that are just?
Well, you know what, Luch? I sent have Shake forward. I clipped Dan Mitchell today because you know what? I might not be the smartest guy when it comes to football and strategy and all that other stuff, but I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you
And I
watch the
have
game.
and I have conviction when I say it.
Sure.
But Dan Mitchell gets upset when I point out the moronic things that he says.
Yeah, most people do.
You know, and that's the part. So today I clipped him. He got so upset because I'm Mr. No, I'm not Mr. Negative. I'm just calling it like it is.
Yeah.
And he's going to pull a cowardly reason and block me, which he did. He blocked me tonight on the Buffalo Bills roundtable because they had three clowns. And this is what they do. We have a show. We have a radio station here called WGR 550. It's sports talk radio.
Uh-huh.
They cover the Bills and the Sabres, NFL, you know, stuff related to Buffalo.
Sure.
Well, all these content creators,
Excuse me.
I swear to God, listen to this show. They write down their notes, and then when they have their shows later on in the day, chances are they don't even change the order in which they discuss it. You know what I mean? I could bet money with people at a bar and say, look, listen to this guy. I bet you, I guarantee it's live. See, it's live. I guarantee he's going to say something about Allen and Diggs. And then, how do you know that? I said, because I know. You know, and it just amazes me. But today, Dan Mitchell actually had the audacity to say that depending on what happens during the Saturday game, which I think is the Steelers-Ravens Saturday.
Yeah, I think so, because that was the first one in my football pool pick, so that's probably the first game played this weekend.
Okay. He actually had the audacity to say that depending on how that game turns out is going to be the way the Bills play. So if the Steelers lose and we're in the playoffs, we're not going to play for second place. You know, does that make any sense to you?
No, it doesn't. So what's your take on this weekend between us? What do you think is going to happen?
You know, honestly,
Let's put all our delusions, us and you, all our delusions aside. Honest opinion.
Okay, and that's what I was saying. As confident as I was earlier, meaning, Monday, Tuesday, as long as the people that you have replacing your starters don't, I'm trying to figure out the way, as long as they don't overcommit, it's going to be a closer game than what people think. I think it's going to be that 3-point spread. But now you have people that are going to replace. I don't even know who's going to replace Chubb. We know Van Ginkel's probably going to replace Phillips on the left side. Who's going to replace Chubb on the far side? As long as they don't overcommit and they stick to their roles, the game's going to be closer than what we think.
Okay.
What's going on, Miss Fans?
Nene, how you doing? I saw Nene in here too.
Dolphinaire, Nene, man, color. Elder Bruce Jones in the building. What's going on, Elder Bruce?
What's your injuries? What's your injuries looking like? You got any significant injuries over there, Mike?
No, none.
Oh, I want to. I poured out my. Finally opened this fucking shit. Blackberry moonshine, baby.
There you go. No significant injuries, huh, Mike? You guys are all
no.
Good.
They had Allen. They had Allen on with the finger and neck, full participation. Okay. Actually, you know what? I don't even want it. That's the only one I remember. But there's only 5. We have Jordan Phillips, Milano, and Trey White are on injured reserve.
What about
Von Miller? Other 5, what's that?
What about
Von Miller was vet
rest. He's a healthy.
He was vet rest and something else yesterday. Let me see if I can bring it up on my iPad. Hold on.
The one thing I heard today is the fact that according to I forgot which one, Barry Jackson or one of those Twitter guys that are reputable. I can't remember the names now. That apparently, Vic Fangio is gonna leave Eli Apple and Kader Kohu.
Josh Allen's gonna pick on. It's gonna be like picking apples from an apple tree. He's gonna throw it to whoever's on apple. It's like picking apples from an apple tree. All game long, it's gonna be picking apples from a tree. The only way.
Well, go ahead, Greg. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
only way we overcome that is if our Samoan sniper at quarterback can match what the Bills do. All day now. Picking up, we're better off putting a trash can out there.
We'll see.
Okay. Well, here's the you know what? As much as I want you to be right, Greg, Allen really hasn't looked that great in the pass game the last 2 weeks. He's been off. He's had a couple of nice throws, but he's had a lot of suspect throws too. So obviously, and they're talking about mechanics and all this other stuff. It just aggravates me that I got to listen to these clowns, and they just taint the rest of the Bills fan base that, would rather sit in front of a screen than actually go out and do something, listen to radio, and listen to people that actually have an idea what's going on in the game of football.
So let me ask you this: how would you say, I don't know if you paid attention to Justin Herbert's second year, right? Oh shoot, we got a super chat. Oh man, I guess hey Larry.
Oh, we're back. Look at that.
Oh, all right.
Oh, I didn't know the super chats.
They free Larry, but no,
free Larry. He didn't even show up to give a big hoorah about
it. Well, what do you know? Congrats again. Hey, Larry K. They free, but anyway, I'm much appreciated for the $2 donations. But anyway, listen. What did you think of Justin Herbert's second year in the NFL?
Well, I know he threw for over 14,000 yards in his first 3 years and broke Marino's record. So, I'm
specifically talking about the second year. I'm not talking about the second year.
Well, and it was all three, and he had pretty decent. His first 3 years are pretty decent, which got him his contract.
Well,
because this year wasn't that great.
His first 2 years, his second and his third year, Joe Brady was his offensive coordinator. Shout out to Adam Sadowski with the $5 super chat. What's going on, brother? Thank you, man. Much love.
All this money coming in because I'm up here. I want to cut, Larry K.
We'll give you the 50 cents.
That's what happened. There, Michael K was making a guest appearance and said, "Go ahead and monetize him. He's going to bring in a bunch of money." They got a pig on everything he makes.
I didn't follow it well enough, to be honest with you. But I do know that Herbert had issues, and they didn't make the playoffs until his third year.
Yeah. So, but just
what I mean. So I know they had problems on defense.
Give you an indication of what kind of OC you're dealing with.
See, I don't necessarily know that because me personally, I think Justin Herbert is a better passer than Allen.
Yeah.
So I mean, Herbert can't run like Allen, and Herbert can't scramble like Allen. And Allen can throw. Don't get me wrong; he's got an arm. But when it comes to mechanics and actual throwability, I think Herbert is a much better passer than he is. I think Burrow is a much better passer than Allen. He doesn't have the arm strength, but very seldom does Burrow get all rattled and make stupid mistakes. Where I thought Dorsey was able to control Allen. See, I don't think Dorsey was a problem, and I'm one of them dead fast guys that say it was the execution of Dorsey's play calls and not the play calls. And we noticed that when Dorsey got fired and Brady took over, they came out and everybody was like, "Oh, Brady's the guy. Brady's the guy." Brady wasn't the guy. What it was is you had 11 guys or 14 guys that are regulars on the offense that kind of felt bad that they got somebody fired because they weren't playing like professionals. So now you look at the Dallas game, he just ran the ball. Brady, Brady actually called a good game against Dallas because the run was working. So he stuck with the run. Don't switch what works. But now on this one show that I was watching before you, they were bent out of shape because they didn't throw the ball against Dallas.
Yeah.
Well, why? What's the difference how you win? As long as you win. And then they're talking about Diggs. Diggs got sciatica. And Diggs got this. And Diggs has syphilis. And you know what? No, Diggs doesn't have any of that. Diggs doesn't have any of that because McDermott's not going to play a game and not have Diggs on the injury report if Diggs is injured. You know what I mean? So they're just making stuff up because they want to protect Brady and they want to protect Allen. It's not Allen's fault that he's not throwing at Diggs. It's got to be Diggs. Something's got to be wrong with Diggs because Allen's not throwing the ball. But if you look back at the game the last 2 weeks, Diggs has been open 7 or 8 times, and Allen didn't even think about throwing him the ball. So that kind of leads me more to believe that this game is going to be a lot closer than we believe.
Yeah, I hope all is well with you too. But here's the thing, like I said, the one thing I seen we all know, familiar with the New England Patriots, right? And the one thing I noticed about them is they'll purposely leave a person out of the game plan because they want you to. And the second you ignore him, that's the game he's gonna wreak havoc. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe that will probably be the case with Stephon Diggs. You'll be like, oh yeah, well, you know what? They haven't been using Stephon Diggs. Let's take him out of the game plan. And the second they see Josh Allen is seeing one-on-one coverages and coverages he likes, bombs away. Because that's the thing I hate about the Dolphins is the fact that when teams score on us, it's like a 50-yard one big play. We give up like a bomb. It's not a methodical drive where it's like a 20, 30 play drive. It's like a 2 or 3 play drive when we do give up a touchdown.
Right.
It's frustrating. You know what I mean? And
that's the whole thing. I just don't understand it. Nothing changed. This is the problem with the Bills. Nothing changed with the playbook. The plays haven't changed. If anything changed, it would be the
philosophy.
Well, the philosophy definitely changed because they're using Cook more than Would anybody have ever thought that Cook would have more rushing yards than Mostert after week 17? Or actually after week 16 because Mostert didn't play last week.
Cook's a good running back.
But he was a sleeper because you didn't really he ran the ball, but he wasn't like a big name in our offense. Let James Cook and all this other stuff. But he has this breakout game against Dallas, and all of a sudden he's got 1,070 something yards. He's like 30 ahead of Mostert. But Mostert also missed last game. Mostert didn't play last game, correct?
No, he didn't. But I saw it coming with Cook.
And it's a pleasant surprise.
I mean, I guess your coaching finally realized and started putting them into effect.
See, me personally, I think he's going to be the X factor Sunday because he's dangerous out of the backfield. To come across and slant patterns or just sit underneath the linebackers and get that 5-yard pass. So I think he's going to be the X factor as long as they can contain our receivers, which I have a feeling they might be able to do. We'll see. Especially the way Allen's been throwing the ball. But, I'm not in the room. I don't pretend to know what they're saying. I'm just going, with the eye test and what I've seen the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, we were terrible against the run last week. Hopefully, we were terrible everywhere. Hopefully it tightens up. We'll see what happens. But, I've been thinking, I'd like to think, I always knock McDaniel and mock him, McGenius and all that, because to me, he just doesn't have any change up at all. He's kind of, and I've been thinking, and this is for Fangio too, I've been hoping that what's about to happen is they've only opened up a small portion of their playbook and said, look, we're so far ahead with the schedule that we know we're going to make the playoffs. So let's just give them these little tidbits for them to have breakdown and film for when we make our run. And then we're going to open up all these other plays. And then we're going to give them all these other looks on defense. I'm hoping that that's the case. The only thing that makes me think that might not be, and that would really be a genius play. That would be a real chess, but it's like you would think if that was the case, they would.
Good, Ryan.
Ryan, how you doing, bro? Jenna, shot time. Ryan's on the show. Thank you. And you would think against Baltimore, if that was the case, then they would have broke out some stuff then. I mean, but obviously, they just did the same, and it was the same result. Any other time we had a big game. But I'm hoping that's the case. That's my last hope. Thank you. Is that, maybe McGenius has this whole playbook that he's just waiting for the playoff run to open up, because by then, everybody will be scrambling. They won't know how to deal with it.
Yeah,
that's my, and Fangio too, because this guy's supposed to be all the money we paid him. I mean, we've been okay, but we've been okay against mediocre teams. Our defense played good enough against Dallas, but our defense really wasn't that great against Dallas. They went up the field and scored when they needed to, and they got in field goal range every time,
Well, and the Dolphins' offense has been sputtering the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, since Tennessee,
See, here's the thing too. The reason why I think, and if you look at logic should dictate. The reason they got Fangio, right, was because last year when we had all these injuries, Josh Boyer, he's a young defensive coordinator. Let's not be, he's still a young, relatively young defensive coordinator. He's only been doing DC for 2 years. You can't fucking expect Vic on his third year for him to be as good as Vic Fangio. You know what I'm saying? If you do, you're a fucking moron. Sorry. You're a moron. I'm sorry. I don't know what other way to tell you. You know what I'm saying? If you expect a third-year defensive coordinator to be as good as someone like Bill Belichick, I don't know what to tell you. You know what I mean? But that's neither here nor there. So the reason I'm not giving Fangio any excuses on the defense, because everybody was calling for my man Boyer's job. Oh, he couldn't adapt for all. Oh no, what about all the injuries? Oh, forget the injuries. He couldn't adapt. So we're paying.
Boyer was terrible.
We're paying. So we got an experienced head coach, defensive coordinator, and so at the end of the day, we got him because he needed to quote unquote adapt to the injuries that we get. So he needs to do what we're paying him to do, and that's no excuses. Sorry.
Well, I'll go with that. But like, the other day on the show, Nene was saying like, well, damn, we can't just have, this is McDaniel's second year. You can't be calling for his head already. And that's how, organizations, if you don't have any, patience, that's how things, if you keep tearing down and rebuilding, new guy, new system, new this, new that every year. But at the same time, calling for Fangio's head. I mean, this is his first year. This is everybody's first year under his system. Mm-hmm. Initially, our defense started off not so good. But about midway through the season, they tightened down a little bit. They clamped up. I mean, we looked bad against Baltimore, but we gave Baltimore, there's got to be some type of, I don't care how good, unless you're the 2000 Ravens, or the no-name defense. I mean, unless you're a defense of that magnitude, you're not going to have your defense on the field that much. When your offense, it's got to be a little bit of get them some rest, score some points, give them something to fight for. When you're scoring points and then your defense goes out and tries to get a stop, I mean, there'll be games when neither team's defense is getting stops and you got to keep up. The name of the game's keep up, not catch up. I just feel like he's been pretty okay for the first year. I mean, we've been pretty okay, It's
yeah, you know what, Anthony, and I have a different way of thinking about this. Fangio's been in the game a long time.
Sure.
Fangio knows what's going on. Now you get a bunch of professionals that have been playing, organized football since they were probably 8, 9, 10 years old, went all the way through high school, college, made it to the pros. If they have the ability, they should be able to adapt. And then that's my thing. Is Fangio making it so intricate that it's screwing the defense instead of just playing a regular base defense, with not all these stunts and all this other stuff, just let them stop the run, just attack the ball. Could that be the issue with Fangio and all of a sudden people figuring out how to get around it?
I don't know. Sometimes I think he outthinks it because, like Nene just said, I can't for the life of me understand why our best cornerback doesn't cover their best receiver every game we play. I mean, that's what it should be. But I don't know. I don't pretend to know the schemes and schematics and how, people, I don't know. But for me, I agree with you 100%. It sometimes, and I've said this about Mike McDaniel since he's been here, sometimes you just got to dumb it down and make it easy. I would think, look, our guy is better than your guy at doing this. Stop him. Simple and plain. You don't got to do all this super extra stuff. You got 16, we got 16, we got 11 on the field against your 11. Our skilled players on offense are better than the skilled players you got on defense, and just run it metaphorically and literally and see what happens. And then if that's not working, then tweak it a little bit. But I don't know, Mike. I don't know how these guys think. Sometimes I feel like they outthink themselves. Ramsey should be on the best receiver every game. Simple and plain. I don't understand. X is getting up there in years. He's injury prone. He's been getting burnt pretty regularly. He's not the same guy he used to be. So he's 100% lost a step at least. So why not have Ramsey, who's proven to be the better? Why not have him on the best receiver every game? I don't understand that. I don't know. I can't answer that.
And speaking of X, how come people in herpes commercials are always smiling?
That's a good question, because I wouldn't be smiling if I had herpes.
Well, because you said burn. You said burn, and I can't. I just can't stop when it comes to that.
Gonorrhea, though, not herpes. But I don't know if that might be fake news. I feel like there's a lot of shots. These broads. I think he's a little bit too much with the women, and they'll come out and say anything. I don't know if he's Usher Raymond or not. Thoughts and does not reflect on Larry's thoughts and whatever views expressed in this show do not reflect on YouTube or Larry
or Larry K. Or Larry K.
However it goes. Disclaimer.
See, now
allegedly.
The pass rush you didn't have a pass rush the first game against the Bills. You really didn't have a rush. You got bullied on the line.
Well, hold on. Now I agree with you throughout the rest of the course of the game, but the game against Baltimore mirrored our first game. I feel like Baltimore watched that first game against you guys and said, look, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go out there, and they're not going to be able to keep up. They couldn't keep up with Buffalo, so we're just going to follow the same thing because it went the same way. We come out, hit them in the mouth. They hit us back in the mouth. We hit them back, and then they started windmilling, and we couldn't get out of the way of those punches, and that's the same thing that happened with you guys. At first, we were neck and neck with you guys. It was a good game for the first quarter and a half, maybe.
First 4 possessions.
And listen, and this is after Oliver went out. This is after a White went out. After your better players, 2 of your better players on defense went out, you guys took flight on us. That's what confuses the hell out of me. That's you remember that?
Oh yeah, well, see, the Bill. I was looking at
on the field. We were fighting. When your best guys went down, that was it. It was over.
I was looking at snap counts earlier because somebody had said something about Cam Smith snap counts, which he has 18 this year on the whole year. But I just happened to look, and I was looking, and your defensive 4, for the most part, are all within 70 to 85% snaps per game. That's a lot. Ed Oliver on the Bills is the highest, and he's rated like 68%. His highest snap counts. So these guys are fresh pretty much the whole game.
Cosa Nostra, let me answer this guy's a question. I don't think we're better than when we played in the first game. I think we're worse. We're worse as far as injuries. We didn't have Ramsey at first in the first meeting, but we had pretty much everybody else on defense. The difference with that kind of now
No,
X
I don't
is
think
now,
we had Ramsey in the first meeting. We didn't
no,
have
we
Ramsey.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't have Ramsey.
We had
didn't have
Nets.
Ramsey. We didn't have Ramsey. But at the same time, our players weren't acclimated at all for a few games after that. They didn't start gelling with Fangio's defense until a few games later. But now we don't have X. We won't have Jalen Phillips, who we had the first go around. We won't have Chubb, who we had the first go around, even though these guys were almost non-existent, like I said, because nobody was gelling with that defense. It took a few games. They weren't against San Diego the game before that. I mean, we were getting cooked on every turn, for the first maybe 5-6 weeks of football. So fast forward to now, I think Waddle might be playing. Mostert, I'm not sure. He may or may not. But we got Achane, and we still got Wilson. So our running game is okay as far as I'm concerned.
Well, isn't Achane banged up?
Nah, he's okay. He's banged up the whole time, this kid. But he's going to play. He's going to play. If we just have Wilson, I'm a believer in Wilson. Wilson's good. I think our running game is okay. But I'm saying that to say this. We're banged up. We have zero pass rush. I mean, we got Van Ginkel, but I mean, when you're down to that, we still got Sealer, we still got Wilkins, but compared to what we're supposed to have, we're pretty anemic in the pass rush department. Maybe Melvin, what's his name, Ingram will show up.
Melvin
Maybe
Ingram, yeah.
Ogbah will show up. Who knows? I'm glad that we got, and I feel like the kid was knocking rust off last week. Javon Holland, so that's good. Last week he knocked the rust off. He missed a lot of time. But I feel like now is where we lack the most. Tua's confidence, and this time of the year, that's what I'm curious to see. I think we were better. He's better in the beginning of the season when there's not all these questions and there's not all this. It showed last year when we did the comeback against Baltimore. He wasn't worried. He was just out there playing ball. He was letting it fly against Buffalo last year. When we came back early in the season, he was just letting it fly. It's the latter part of the season when there's all the questions and there's all the pressure of the seeding and the this and the that. It gets to him. I mean, it shows his whole career. It's happened, So I'm just curious to see how he bounces back. It showed last week. We had a couple drop. We won't even get into that. We already talked about last week. So that's what I'm worried. I'm not worried, but I'm excited to see. I'll say that. Let's see if Tua can go out there because we got the weapons on offense. Our offense ain't injured. It's not. I mean, even if Waddle is missing, we still got plenty of weapons. I want to see Tua go out there and, light it up. Let's see that.
See, I'm looking at your injury report. In the first 4 that did not practice, Hill was limited yesterday, didn't practice today, ankle/personal. He was probably washing the floors from the fire. So that's probably why he didn't show up to work today. And then you got Howard, Mostert, and Waddle. The 3 of those haven't practiced Wednesday or today. Foot, ankle, knee, and ankle. So I mean that's got to be pretty concerning because that's 2 wide receivers, a cornerback, and your running back. So that leaves Achane, who is also on the report as limited participant. Where was he? Hold on. And he has toe and ribs.
Yeah.
So he's got a foot problem and he's got ribs.
Yeah, he's a little guy. Dolphinier said he thinks Hump might be back. I think Wynn might be back too for the offensive line. I heard something about that. But I don't feel like our offensive line is that much of a problem. I mean, I'm not saying that it isn't a problem, but I'm not saying that it's been so bad that it's been like a glaring deficiency for our offense.
Hey, listen, the one thing I don't want to hear Dolphin fans say, if we make the Super Bowl, no, hey, listen, man, we can't play Hunt. I want to rest him for the first preseason game.
Yeah. I don't want to hear any of that resting anybody. The time is now. Hey, my guy.
Well, shit, your whole offensive line is pretty much on the report. Eichenberg, Cotton.
Yeah, no,
Hunt,
Eichenberg's hurt. Cotton is
Jackson,
a mess, anyways. Cotton is a penalty machine.
Armstead.
I mean, this is what it comes down to. I'm not even going to say that.
See, and
we gotta
I was
show what we
listening.
got.
I
Shake,
was
what I
listening.
want to say, but I don't want to put any bad juju on the team before, so I'm not even gonna. This is what it comes down to. We got enough people where we can play a Buffalo team that has shown that they can struggle. This isn't like an indestructible team that we're playing. Buffalo showed that they have some weaknesses that have been exposed. Just last week, they fought tooth and nail with the trash ass New England Patriots. This isn't like a runaway Buffalo team of the past few years. Buffalo's they're a little rocky too now. They're not. I mean, look at the record. This isn't the Buffalo of the past few years. So I don't need any excuses. If we can't get it done against this Buffalo team, then that tells you what our playoffs look like. Because we're back to play Buffalo again. If we can't beat Buffalo, then our shot is over as far as I'm concerned.
Anthony, and you're 50% right. And I'll tell you why. Because nobody knows what Bills team's going to show up Sunday.
That's what I'm saying. Some days they show up and they're ready to go, and some days they don't. That's what I'm saying. It's not the same Buffalo team. Normally, Buffalo's in there and they're fighting tooth and nail. And even when they lose to a good team like Kansas City or whatever, it's the last 3 seconds of the game. This isn't that Buffalo team. So there's no excuse why we shouldn't go out there and, at home.
Be competitive.
Yeah, come on, man. If they blow us out like they did week 1, I mean, I don't know what to say.
Nene wants to know why I'm not talking about Allen's injuries.
He did early in the show before you got here. He did.
I don't think there is one really. It's a neck and a right finger. And he was full participation both Wednesday, Thursday. But let's face it, Josh Allen's tough. There's no way he's not playing.
Yeah.
And it just takes one play. But, he said he had a neck stinger, never had it, but it's on his left side, not his throwing side. You kind of use your whole body to throw, but I don't think he's going to lose any velocity off of a 25-yard dart if he has to throw one.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, and the right finger, that was new, and nobody ever said anything about a finger.
No,
and as far as I know, his girlfriend hasn't been in town, so who knows how that happened.
Yeah, Allen's a tough kid. He's too tough for his own good sometimes, and he makes some.
He's a farm boy from California. They're not the smartest people out there.
I thought he played from. I thought he was from Wyoming.
He is, but he grew up on a farm in California.
Either way, he's I can't say on this show, but he's a tough kid. He's not going to let a stinger or whatever, a jam finger or any of that. He's coming to play.
Man.
He hasn't missed a game since. He hasn't missed a game since I think his first year when he had that ace or shit. The thing Purdy had, the elbow issue that he had last year.
Excuse me.
The elbow issue that he had last year that he got against I think the Dolphins caused that one. Or the Jets. No, I'm sorry, it was the Jets. I think he got against the Jets. But anyways, he hasn't really missed any time. He plays.
Yeah.
I need him to rush the ball a couple of times and dive head first like he likes to do. I need a couple of them plays.
Don't. It's funny you said don't quote me on that, but they were talking. I want to say it was Deion Dawkins and Spencer Brown did like an interview, and they were talking about how Allen wants to rush the ball within the first 2 series to get in the game. He doesn't feel like he's in the game until he rushes the ball. So you got to look for him to rush the ball first or second series. And it wouldn't surprise me if they get two of them in there.
I tell you, we struggle with quarterbacks, and that's no military secret. But last week we played a mobile quarterback, and he cooked us. He brought us to the barbecue right from the pocket. I don't remember him running the ball not one damn time last week.
He ended up with 36 rushing yards, Lamar did.
36, which is
nothing.
For him, nothing.
There's probably one rush.
You know what I mean? He cooked us from the pocket last week. We couldn't get pressure, and this is when we had Chubb on the field the whole game. Mm-hmm. But sometimes, man, people have off games. I'm not gonna say that, you know, it is what it is, man. I'm just gonna chalk that up as to a bad game to everybody on defense. X
And
going out early, I
I
feel
wanted
like
to get
that
your
hurt.
I wanted to get your thoughts, Michael K, because I was talking about Sean yesterday, Red, White, and Bills, and I was hope I didn't misrepresent you,
He
but when
said
I
Cooper
told
Cup.
him, I said the one thing that frustrated you about Allen was the fact that the first 3 years, all summer you see him working out and
Who's this
training
you're
and
talking about,
working on his
Shakes?
mechanics. This year, all he did was golf and go out with his celebrity girlfriends.
Who?
Oh,
who
kill it. I
That
hate
was the
that.
one thing that frustrated you this year, right?
Oh, I
Who are you
hated it.
talking about?
Alan, I
Oh,
said that all off season. I said it all off season, and then he, you know what? And then 2 weeks after the Super Bowl, you had pictures of Mahomes. Mahomes won the Super Bowl, and everybody else, it was 10 days. It was Hurts. Herbert wasn't because he had surgery. Lawrence, Burrow. I'm trying to think who else. And then Mahomes was 14 days after the Super Bowl. All of a sudden, their pitchers started coming out, already back to work, working out, throwing balls, doing stuff. Meanwhile, you see Allen shaking hands with Tiger Woods. You know what I mean? That just aggravates me. You pay a guy $258 million for 6 years, and he doesn't take his job. You know, it's not a part-time job. You know, it's a full-time job. You know what? I'm not saying don't go golf. I'm not saying don't go on vacation. Don't enjoy yourself. But at least put it out there like you're committed to the sport.
Yeah.
And he didn't do that.
D-Nice, you're coming back broke if you do that, my guy. Don't put too much of a bag on it. But I agree with you, Mike. You know, that's what I say about Tua. You know, one of my concerns is he throws a pick, he does whatever. He doesn't go on the sidelines and get upset about it, or you don't see him get right on the tablet, or, you know, he goes over there. And the one thing I do like about it is he doesn't get all distraught about it. You know, he doesn't get all worked up and down on himself. And that's a plus in itself. However, you know, some of the better quarterbacks in the league, you'd see them have a reaction whenever they'd have a mishap.
Well, you know, you're right. I don't think I've ever seen Tua get so worked up that you can see a difference in his game. You know, even when he threw the 3 picks against Green Bay last year, Christmas, he didn't get all worked up. You know, there were 3 bad throws, whatever else.
He says that he wasn't in his right frame of mind. He says those 3 picks, he don't really remember any of it because he was, well, he said 2 things that kind of contradicted each other. He said he got hit, he took a hit, and he didn't really know his depth perception was messed up, this, that. But then he says that, I don't even want to talk about last year.
No,
but it was
right.
This whole thing on that was he wasn't in his right frame of mind that game after he took a certain hit for those picks, that he wasn't really all there. So
you know what? And I probably shouldn't have used that as an example.
Yeah.
But you look at when Josh Allen throws a pick and we're down. The next series or the series after or the series after that, you can tell there's a difference in his game because he reacts different to things.
He's thinking about it. It's in his head. Tua
Right.
don't let it get in his head. He's got that little bit of Brett Favre in him where he'll throw a pick and he got that. I'll throw another one. I'm still gonna shoot. You know, if I see it, I'm gonna throw it. The difference is Tua will go out there with that attitude, and I don't care if there's 3 defenders there. I'm throwing it there anyways. I guess Brett Favre kind of did the same thing.
Oh yeah, Brett Favre did that. Absolutely, he did.
History of the league, but you know, so that's a plus that I like. But I'd like to see, you know, some type of. I've never seen it. Maybe they don't pan the camera over there when he's doing it, but I don't see him getting in the tablet and trying to. I don't know.
Hey, by the way, be nice and hit the like button and subscribe button, man. Appreciate you. But go ahead. Sorry.
Hold on, D-Nice. You're sadly mistaken. We're not locked in already. The Dolphins care about this game. This game is the difference between the 2nd seed and the 6th seed. So you're crazy talking like that. You
5th. You'd be 5th seed, I think.
Okay, you got to get your fellow brethren over there, Buffalo brethren. He doesn't have any idea what he's talking about.
I have no control.
Michael K, when it comes to
He's
Buffalo
part of the
fans, he's a
mafia.
lone
That
wolf.
guy's jumped through a few tables, Michael K.
I have no
Michael K is a lone wolf.
And he missed
I have no control over the masses. Trust me.
That guy's hit the pavement a few times. He's missed the pavement completely.
I think I seen that video where the guy missed by like 5 feet. Moron.
That's D nice.
But you know, and this kind of concerned me about Tua though. And you know what, I understand the whole jiu-jitsu thing, and it helped. It did help his game. You can tell when he gets hit that he doesn't flop. He does, you know, and he does the right thing. Why didn't they incorporate some sort of footwork with the guy too?
No, it was one or the other. It was a trade out, and that's another thing. You know, it's either we keep him healthy and we lose the scramble ability, or we work on the scramble ability and we worry about concussions. Because initially, and I've said a million times, when he first came in the league, Tua would scramble and make plays. Man, he was fantastic at it. He was really good at it. And this is after his hip injury. People were wondering, is he going to be able to be mobile after that horrific hip injury? I mean, he came in and he was making it happen on the run. And then the following, you know, when this happened with all the concussions, now I think he's a little shell-shocked from that. And he's not too concerned with, they said, listen, we don't need you to worry about running. The quick release is going to negate the need for scrambling. However, now that they've figured out his timing routes and they've kind of figured out how Mike McDaniels works with him, they've taken that away. And you can see that even with the fast release, if that first read isn't open, the play's over. That's it. But he'll still be committed. And that's how these interceptions happen. If they're coming, he gets down, which I mean, I kind of don't get hurt. If you see the sack coming, just, you know, get down. But we're at the point now where it's not just get down anymore. And then, you know, this, like you said, you make a lot of money. He might be on a rookie contract and whatever. You're still making a lot of money. And if you want to make big money, which a lot of people, Dolphins, think that they're going to sign him no matter what, that'd be terrible if that happens. If we, you know, fizzle out in these playoffs, then I can't imagine giving
Shout out to my man Lucci in the building.
But you got to be able to make plays happen. This is it. And I feel like he knows that because the Baltimore game, he ran. He tried to scramble. That's how he hurt his shoulder, which I don't think he's hurt too bad. I think he's okay. But then he saw them 3 guys coming. He tried to slide, but it was a crazy, awkward slide. And, you know, we kind of got hit the ground weird and then got hit. But he knows now. I feel like he knows, at least he showed me, okay, now all that just collapsing in the pocket, don't take the hit, is over. Now I got to try to make something happen.
Right. And that still has a skill set that he has to work on. It's not like Josh Allen, who can, you know, let's say Josh Allen's a mobile quarterback, but he's not a Lamar Jackson or a Michael Vick. No, you know, he's not one of those guys, but he can run.
But he ain't he's Josh Allen's elite at extending plays. I'll give him that. I'll put him in that category. But Tua was, when he come in the league, Tua was that guy too. So it's not like he'd be learning how to do it, you know, because he did it. I witnessed it. He come in the league doing it, but he put on a lot of weight. And I think that was kind of a smart play because, you know, this way he could be a little more durable for these hits. And but I feel like he just needs that. They should be practicing that right now in practice. I don't know if Mike McDaniels has that on the, you know, on the plan. I don't know, but he should be getting back into that because it's not trying to learn something new for Tua. Tua can make it happen. I've seen him do it. You know,
see, now I watched
extra weight, no, but I still feel like he can, and hopefully they design some plays where, like, okay, you know, if this scenario happens, this is how we're gonna. I mean, it has to be because this falling down in the pocket when the guys are coming, that part of the game is over, and all this worried about let me not get hurt, that part of the game is over too. This is it. It's all or nothing at this point, moving forward from you guys all the way to the Super Bowl. There is no more play with caution. Now it's whatever happens, happens. Caution to the wind. We're out here to win by any means necessary. And if you don't have that in you, then you don't need to be on,
Hell yeah.
my personal.
Well, you know what, and let me ask you, and I watched that. I don't watch the whole show, but I catch the excerpts on YouTube and speak with LaShawn McCoy and Acho and Joy Taylor and the other guy, I don't know his name. Acho brought up a pretty good point that these next 2 games for Tua are going to reflect what his contract will be if he gets one.
We'll hope.
Does that make sense to me?
Lou, I'll see you Sunday, man. I'm excited about that, my guy.
Oh yeah.
Does that make any sense? So, I mean, maybe not so much against Buffalo because we don't know a game plan that McDaniel and Fangio are going to come up with, and maybe they're going to do what they think they can do without injuring more players because they are in the playoffs. They're trying to win. Don't get me wrong, but if there comes a point where they know that the game isn't winnable, do they kind of throttle back a little bit so people aren't going 100%? Just to get out unscathed, to have less injury.
That's what they should have did against Baltimore. They need to, but my hometown guy, Asante Samuels. I don't know. You're old enough to remember him, Michael Lucci and Shake.
Oh yeah,
he went to the same high school as me, Boyd Anderson High School. Shout out Boyd Anderson. He's from Lauderdale Lakes, from the same city as me in Fort Lauderdale. He said it's cut and dry with Tua. I mean, you see what it is with Tua. You've seen already what it is, and this should be where you, like you just said, moving forward from this game against Buffalo and whatever happens in the playoffs should be your precedent for what you're going to do with Tua. And I mean, it to me, I mean, it's as obvious. Again, I'm not into the business schematics of the league. I'm not into all the breaking down film. But as a guy that's watched the game for 38 years, I'm older than that, but, I didn't start watching until I was 5, 6 years old and didn't understand that. And we'll say 38 years. Why? I mean, you pay people what they're worth. It's a production league. You pay people for what they produce. It shouldn't be rocket science. To me, that's as simple as Fangio should put Ramsey on the other team's best receiver every game. I mean, how is that not? Do you have to be a football genius to understand that? Our best cornerback should cover their best wide receiver. Is that not? I mean, so why would you pay people a whole bunch of money that haven't produced anything? I mean, the ultimate goal is to win when it matters. So why would you give a boatload of money to a guy that can't get the job done when it matters? And I feel like there's year 4. This should be it. This should be it. We should see what happens. If it's a good enough where we fight, like how Josh Allen got his money, where he'd go in there and he'd play teams and lose the last few seconds of the game. Okay, at least you're in the game and you can say, okay, maybe if we just do a couple of other tweaks around the team, we can win with this guy. But if we're not winning at all, I mean, it's like, or not even a close attempt at a win when it matters, then what are you going to do? You gotta.
Well, then that's the whole thing, and they have to make a decision. So, I mean, they really don't have to because they got him on his 5th year.
Hold on, Mike. And I don't mean to cut you off. Let me tell you this. This is terrible. But see, this is terrible. That Costa Nostra, you want us to be like them guys, the New York Giants, like you say, Danny Dimes. Who the hell would give this guy all that money like that? Are you kidding me? Lamar. You're tripping even mentioning Lamar. I'm not even going to get into that. Jalen Hurts got money. Though they were just in the Super Bowl. He might be having a rough go right now. Maybe he not be that guy. Maybe he may not. I don't know. But they were in the Super Bowl. And they had a shot at winning the Super Bowl. And the way they played last season. And then this season, they played great up until recently. But these people have shown that they can win at a high level when it matters. All them people you name, with the exception of Daniel Jones, Kirk Cousins. I had this conversation before. He had his "you like that" moment when he was in Washington, when they were underdogs, when they didn't have a chance to play. And I don't remember who they were playing, but he showed up big in that game and said that to Dan Snyder, and that was his moment when he showed up when it mattered. Now, has he panned out? Does he fizzle? Maybe, but at least he gave you something to hope for, which is exactly what I'm saying. Daniel Jones is the only guy on your list that didn't do that. That's it. The rest of them guys, they all had their moments where at least you know there's, which is what I said, give you a little bit of hope. Okay, look, he showed he can play at a high level when it matters. Maybe we just got to do a couple of other things to help him out, and we can get over the hump.
Well,
all those guys you named have proven that.
Well, the other one that really didn't show up, they got paid. They didn't show up really at big moments was Justin Herbert.
Right. And what did he do with his moment in the playoffs? They were down $1 million. Now everybody wants to say, but miss me with that. Just like Matt Ryan when they lost to the New England Patriots.
Well, they were up
28-3.
Mm-hmm.
And he
Daniel Jones beat the Vikings?
I don't know. I think
Daniel Jones beat the Vikings.
They did.
In the playoffs?
The only one I don't agree, well, number one, Cousins really didn't get paid. He's going to be out of Minnesota.
Well, he got a little bit of money. No, he did. Costanos is right. He got a little bit of money.
As a matter of fact, he was the first one. He was the first quarterback to get his contract fully guaranteed.
Yeah, he did get a little bit of money, Mike.
Yeah, but it wasn't like a Mahomes contract or.
Well, at that time, though, it was a lot of money. When he got the contract, it was a big contract.
See, me personally, I don't think Watson should have got paid. I don't think Watson's a good quarterback at all.
Watson. Deshaun Watson?
Yeah.
And now I'll say this. He would be one of them weird ones where he didn't, but the way he played with what he had for that Cleveland Browns team was kind of like, how could you not take a shot with this guy? This guy had no receivers to speak of, no defense. I mean, they were in, even though they had terrible, they were in every game, and it was because of the way he was playing. So that's a kind of a weird one, which we don't have that. That's not the case with Tua. Tua's kind of weird in the case that he can show up and show out in some games, in a lot of games, he plays really well. But in the latter part of the season, when there's, when the pressure is on, he tends to not play the way he did earlier in the season when there really isn't. And people could say, well, every game counts and there's pressure in every game. Bullshit. You guys know what I'm talking about. When we're getting into the latter part of the season and the playoff picture starts really coming into focus, and it really, that's when the heat turns up, just like the championship rounds in boxing and all this. That's where the fight is won. You hear it in the latter part of any game is when the heat is up, and that's what I need to see from Tua. For
me personally, I don't think the NFL did you. I don't think the NFL did you any favors by the way the schedule panned out. If it would have been inverted, it would be a totally different story for Miami. I don't think the Bills could have caught Miami because they would have had them easy games that they were just mollywopping everybody.
But it's easy right now. But I'll tell you what, and everybody's saying that. But look, we didn't make that when they made the schedule. But when the season started, we were like number 2 for the hardest schedule in the league. Anybody could go back and look. But when they did the strength of schedule, we were like number 2 in the league for the hardest schedule. Now, did we know that San Diego was going to end up being the dumpster fire there? No. Or Denver was going to be that terrible? No. Nobody did. Nobody thought Denver was going to be that bad. If you come on here and say that, maybe you do, maybe you don't, but I'm going to call you a liar. I thought Denver was going to be exceptionally well. Here's Russell Wilson. Is kind of like a Drew Brees similarities a little bit, and Sean Payton had crazy success with a guy like that. And I thought it was going to be a fit, and they got a pretty good defense last year. As bad as they were, their defense is great. Nobody thought they were going to be that bad. I mean, look at the teams on our schedule. New England, terrible. Man, these talking heads, go back and look at how they were talking about Daniel Jones after his rookie season. They were crowning him the next thing at New England. Nobody knew New England was going to take such a turn for the worse.
No, that's Mac Jones. Daniel Jones is the Giants.
No. Mac Jones. They were talking like Mac Jones was that guy.
You said
his
Daniel
rookie
Jones.
season. Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go look up the talking heads. Watch the videos after his rookie season. They were talking like Mac Jones was the answer. It was crazy to me, but they did. The Jets, Aaron Rodgers, nobody knew he was going to get hurt. They were supposed to be a powerhouse. Our record really doesn't reflect on, we just got a simp-ass record. It wasn't that. We had one of the hardest records in the league, or, not records, but schedules in the league. But it turned out it wasn't like that. And we took advantage of it to an extent. Look, we play a mayonnaise in his coffee drinking guy and couldn't beat him at home on a prime time game when it mattered. We couldn't drive up the field to save our lives, But we'll see.
Yeah, all we needed was a field goal.
Oh, well, you see, here's my guy Harris. Our own fan base was caping for Mac over Tua. I'm telling you. And I wasn't one. I was like, yo, how do they think this guy's so great? Because I watched him. He was mediocre at best. I didn't see what he was doing. People were hyped. I just figured because it was New England. So they're going to cape for New England no matter what. But I was like, Mac Jones. And, they were saying take him over to. It was crazy to me.
Who's Tua's quarterback coach? Does anybody even know his name?
Darren Bevel. He was
right.
the guy. Listen, at the end of the day, everybody wants to throw Pete Carroll under the bus for that Marshawn Lynch incident. It was freaking Darren Bevel, the play caller. It was Darren Bevel who told Russell Wilson a pass instead of giving it to Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
That
guys.
guy, Darren Bevel, is our quarterback's coach.
Has he been with Tua the whole time?
He's been with Tua 2 years.
Okay, so relatively new.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's the turnaround then. If this is the second year, and even though I'm not a Tua fan, I gotta admit he's had flashes of brilliance.
Mm-hmm.
The first 2 years you really couldn't tell because he was hurt. Last year was just, last year was last year. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
This year he stayed healthy and he's had flashes of brilliance, but maybe there has to be some sort of it factor with his quarterback coach. Because I'll be honest with you, I wasn't sure how I felt about McDermott calling the defensive plays this year, trying to run a football team.
Yeah.
And it seemed to work out pretty good. The defense is pretty stout. And all the issues have been with the offense pretty much, except for the injuries that we had. We had that slide where we win one, lose one, win one, lose one. But now the defense is coming through, and we got 2 All-Pros that are gone for the season. And now Jordan Phillips, we got Daquan Jones back. So that's a huge help going forward as far as defense goes. And the loss of Tremaine Edmonds, that was the best thing that could ever happen to Buffalo. And although me and Mark Krajewski go back and forth, I like him, I hate him, I like him, I hate him.
Mm-hmm.
I told him, I said I didn't like Edmonds, I want Edmonds gone, and he was dead set on saying Edmonds isn't going anywhere. And look what we got. We have as our middle linebacker now what Milano turned into. Milano wasn't that great his first couple of years as our outside linebacker.
Yeah.
Our weak linebacker. So we get Terrell Bernard, even though he's undersized, he's still making more of an impact in 1 year on our defense than Edmonds did in any 5 of his with the Bills. So that worked out. But as far as McDermott, I can't call him McMorrin. I got to be political. I can do it in the chat. I can't do it up here. As far as McDaniel goes,
yeah.
As a rookie head coach, I think the biggest mistake was giving him full control of the offense as well as the team. Even if he had some help with the offensive coordinator having some input, maybe play calling. But when the defense is on the field, he's not paying attention to what's going on because he's working with the offense, making decisions, making whatever adjustments he possibly can, and he's not paying attention to that side of the ball. And I think that's a huge disadvantage.
Shout out to my man, EM Dolphin fan. What's going on? But go ahead. Yeah, man. So, yeah, look. It's gonna essentially it's gonna be a McDaniels versus McDermott head to head one more time this year.
Well, possibly two. Possibly two if we win on Sunday.
But if you lose, and you gotta hope for the Ravens, right?
Ravens or the Titans. And I don't think Jacksonville's pretty beat up. And after Vrabel's press conference today, I think the Titans are going to play for Vrabel. If you get a chance to watch, it's pretty funny. I can't remember the dude's name was. They played on Pat McAfee. It's pretty funny. It was another one of them. It wasn't the playoff guy. What the hell was his name? I can't think of his name now. He's dead. But anyways, it was pretty funny because he kind of gave into one of the reporters for asking a dumb question.
What, the playoffs?
Yeah, I can't remember what his name was for life. Mora, that's it. I couldn't think of. I had a brain bubble going on for a minute.
Yeah, Jim Mora. Playoffs? Yeah, we have his on the Fins tailgate. We got the playoffs. We play that every once in a while.
Well, and that's it, and the Bills definitely got a little bit of a kick in the ass when you guys lost to the Ravens. So now all of a sudden it goes from probably not making the playoffs to possibly winning the AFC East.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the big thing. And that's the big thing. Can McDaniel and Fangio game plan for a healthy Bills team with so many players that are banged up? And obviously with the 18 players on the injury list, all of them aren't going to be healed miraculously by Sunday night. I don't think Waddle plays. I don't think Mostert will play.
Well, let me ask you this. Fins, CBA 3, let me ask you this. If, let's say, for instance, there's a collapse, right? And you had to pick between McDermott and Josh Allen, who are you taking?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
If there was a collapse, you got to take Allen. You have to take Allen, but, that's kind of a loaded question. You take Allen because you're paying him $258 million.
Yeah.
And you can go out and get another coach. But is the collapse because of McDermott or is the collapse for another reason?
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. I don't dislike Allen, but I'm not in the Bone Stroker club.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to say, Allen played a shitty game. I'm sorry. Allen didn't play very well. There's so many people in the Bills fan base in what they call the Mafia, which is probably the most ridiculous name of any fans in the world. They refuse to hold Allen accountable for play that we know that he's a lot better than. When he goes in and throws 3 interceptions to a guy opening night for the Jets, the same guy, they want to blame the receiver for running the wrong route or the loss against Philadelphia. And I clipped O'Sullivan, JT O'Sullivan from the quarterback school, the QB school. I clipped him saying, where was Allen throwing? He threw to the wrong spot. It's an option route, and Allen has to wait for the receiver to decide which way he's going. Gabe ran the right route. The quarterback had inside leverage. Gabe went to the pylon corner route, and Allen just missed him by 15 yards. They want to blame Gabe Davis, and that's just absolutely wrong. So you don't hear, and I'm sure I guarantee Tua hears the scuttlebutt between the fans arguing amongst themselves whether he's the man or he's not the man. Allen doesn't get that in Buffalo for the most part. Mm-hmm. Even the reporters and stuff, when they're talking about it, they won't come out and say Allen didn't play well. It takes Allen to come out and say Allen didn't play well. And then all of a sudden they all agree. Now that Allen said it, it's okay. We can say Allen didn't play well because he said so, because he knows.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. I don't think that Allen will have any issues going further in his career. I think this season was a wake-up call as far as what he does in the offseason. Because all this, the whole season, we haven't, it's not like a Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift thing or Patrick Mahomes and his wife and his brother. Everybody puts a stop to all that stuff. Allen hasn't done that this year. But I think the damage was done over the summer, and Allen's still trying to get his legs. I think he's confused. I think he needs to go and work with Jordan Palmer in the offseason like he did his first 3 years. Because let's face it. Here's one that I heard today, and I don't necessarily agree with it, but I also think it's a possibility that Allen could be a sleeper for the MVP. Me personally, I don't think he deserves it. But if you look at his stats versus Lamar Jackson's stats, Allen has 42 touchdowns, and he's 83% of the Bills' offense.
Yeah.
Where Lamar, he's the leading rusher on his team. That's what Lamar brought to the table. 67 or 68 completion percentage for like 3,300 yards or something. He's got another 700 rushing. I don't agree with it. I don't think they should reward Allen for what's going to amount to an 11-6 season. But then again, what's Lamar going to have? 11 and no, he'll have a 12-5 season, right?
No, 4.
So it could be 13 and 4. Well, he's not playing, so you got to figure you can't count the next game.
Yeah.
So it'll be a 12-4 season versus 11-6. And I don't know. And this was the national media talking. This wasn't even Bills reporters talking local. So and I don't know, and that's why this game is so important. It depends what Tua does. It depends. It depends if the Bills come out and they throw an egg out, or if they come to win, which I think they're going to come to win. I think they're going to get off the plane. They're going to be all business. They're going to maybe go visit family or whatever that's in Florida for the game, make curfew, get up and play a game that, their postseason depends on it.
Yeah.
And that's just my opinion. And I don't know. I don't pretend to know that like some clowns do that think that they know what's being said inside the locker room and inside the offices. I'm not one of them people. I'm just going by what has happened the last 3 or 4 years. This one actually concerns me a little bit. I'm not saying we're definitely not going to get blown out because the Bills don't get blown out. But I can't guarantee a win. As much as I like to say we're going to win, and I much like to say it's going to be by 28 points, I wasn't confident during the first game. I didn't get confident until after halftime.
Yeah, when you saw, that's when I left. As a matter of fact, the only good thing that came from that game, that Buffalo game, is that I met Zach Thomas and he signed my hat. That's it.
Yeah, that was a terrible game.
It wasn't really terrible from where I was sitting, but
shout out to my man CBA3. Hopefully, tomorrow he's gonna be on Insomnia with me and Crypto the last week.
Oh, how did I do on my picks, by the way?
I'm gonna I haven't checked them out yet, but I will be. I'll let you know. I'll text you when I do.
Oh well, I rewatched the show anyway, so you'll mention it on this week's show, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I'll catch that one. I didn't rewatch the other one because I didn't have to. I was there.
Yeah.
So I didn't miss anything. I just throw it on at work and listen to it before Miss Fins or somebody goes live. I try to catch up on all that stuff. It's all in my YouTube to watch list. So I just throw it up on the TV and listen to it while I'm working.
Yeah, I like that little thing. Watch later. Just put it on my watch later stuff.
See, it's this comment right here. MW Day 125. Bills Mafia, ride or die with Allen. Is that simple? Well, it's not that simple. Hold them accountable. There's 52 other players on the roster that go out and bust their ass, and if Allen has a shitty game, why do they got to be held accountable for Allen throwing 3 picks to the same receiver in week 1? He lost 4 games for the Bills this year.
which is why he shouldn't be in the discussion for the MVP.
Absolutely, yeah.
regardless of what is, regardless of what is, because
that's what I'm saying. Like, for instance, Lamar Jackson, it's called most valuable player, meaning you get your team to the win, not most valuable stats, not the best of stats.
Right. If you,
Well,
sometimes it's not always. It doesn't get that, and that's in any league, the NBA, the NFL. But it is what it should be. Is if you take this guy off the team, are they going to, be as good as they are?
Well, in 19, when Lamar won the first MVP, everybody said Allen should have won it. They said Allen got robbed. And I kind of have to agree with that. So I guess they're kind of saying this might be an even up call this year.
Nah.
Because the AP, and the AP hears it. They're the ones that vote for it.
Yeah, but I mean, especially if you guys were to lose right now, then what happens?
Oh, if we lose now, we're done. If we lose now, then Allen should restructure his contract and give half of it back.
It's
because it is them 4 games that he lost. The Patriots game he lost. Jets game he definitely lost. We outplayed the Jets, and it was the 3 turnovers that were the difference. And the Broncos game he lost, he was just off. That was the night game. And there was one other one.
I agree with you. This is it, man. This is his moment.
That I agree with.
Last week was it too. This week, hopefully they catch the ball, even with all the injuries. Like I said, I mean, we have players on the field. It's not like our offense is just depleted. We got players. Play keep up. People could score on Buffalo. It's shown. We scored them. The last time we played them, we scored on them, the first 2-3 drives. It's just we stalled out after that. Some of the blame goes on Tua. To me, a lot of it goes on Mike McDaniel. It's for me, it's a catch-22 because I put a lot of this stuff on McDaniel. There's a lot of fans that love him and think he's great. I don't think he's that great. Game management is suspect. One of the simplest parts of the game. He can't seem to get that straight. The clock management, with the timeouts, the challenges. I mean, it's the simple stuff that he's just terrible at. This is stuff that matters.
That's why when head coaches,
he's terrible at the basics. And then what he's really good at is covering Tua's shortcomings. So it's
and if you look at New England, one of the reasons why I want you to think about this. I know the New England Patriots had a kind of a shitty season, but it had another coach had the New England roster, they probably would have only won. I doubt they probably win a game. You know what I mean? And I think one of the things that people don't understand, Bill Belichick, if he wanted to, he could be the defensive coordinator. But he actually is a defense coordinator. He's not the play caller. Let me get that straight. He is the defensive coordinator, but his son is the play caller game day. So he could focus on challenges, time, the play clock, and those little fine details. That's the difference between a play caller and a head coach. When you're a play caller, you have to you need your assistant head coach to help you out with those things. And apparently the tight end coach, that's what his job is, the assistant head coach. He's supposed to help you with time management and making sure that you challenge the plays. He's depending on people to do that. If you're a play caller, you know what I mean?
I guess. But I'll say this. Bill Belichick is coined a defensive genius, guru, whatever you want to call it. If you were to credit one thing to the games that New England has won this season, or even the games that they were in, what was the reason that they won those games, or the reason they were in the game even close enough to win?
Discipline.
Due to their defense.
Yeah, the defense kept them at all the
defense. And this is the guy that he is.
Discipline too. And listen, Lucci, I will also do a discipline because they weren't the offense wasn't freaking moving back every 5 yards. They weren't killing themselves.
I agree to that. And again, that comes from, the coach. So when we look at our team and you look at where we're lacking, it's moving the ball up the field. Again, defense isn't going to be able to stop every stop. Defense isn't going to, if you look at back at the Baltimore game, they ran away last year. They ran away with the game. They were ahead by 28-21, whatever it was. And all the credit goes to Tua. The guy had fantastic throws. He hit the ball on the money. But there were key at the end during that comeback. There were key stops by the defense. They got the stops when they needed it. Down to the whole rest of the game, Baltimore ran out the field. Special teams sucked it up. But there was a couple, and it was just a bend but don't break. One of them, Baltimore went for it when they could have kicked the field goal. Lamar was a keeper, and the defense got the stop. Just a couple of stops. And then when the offense got the ball back, what'd they do? They capitalized. Now, there's been games this year where it's the same situation and the offense can't capitalize. Tennessee is a highlight in that, So it's like, or just this past week, even though we were down some, Sealer got the strip, we got the fumble, the offense gives the ball right back. Our offense has sputtered out immensely in this second half of the season.
What caused that, though?
Let me ask you the question real quick,
Daniel.
What is your discipline like? What is your do you guys shoot? How is your as far as discipline and pre-snap penalties and things of that nature? How is Buffalo in that aspect?
Not all that great. They have quite a few false starts. It's more of the holdings and more the holding calls. But it's better this year. But it's also better because the offensive line's playing better. They have the confidence; they don't have to jump. And
same to you, Deuce. John from Seattle.
It starts with the O-line, but our O-line, this is my thing. The offensive line hasn't been terrible. How many times has Tua been sacked this year? I mean, not a lot. In comparison to his first 3 years, this is probably the least amount he's been sacked in his entire career.
Well, a lot of that has to do with him throwing the ball so fast.
Well, it could be either or. Our run game has been spectacular, no matter who's running the ball all year. That starts with the offensive line. I mean, it's just, again, what it comes down to is everybody isn't going to be able to play perfect every time. Everybody's not going to have the 1992 Dallas Cowboys offensive line. So there has to be times when the quarterback has to be able to extend plays. That's how you win games. And we lack in that department. Our quarterback can't really extend plays. Not that great anyways. Not like he was when he first came in the league. I mean, it's just is what it is. It's not a knock. It's not talk. It's just calling it as I see it. And as you see it. Or anybody else who watches the game sees it. No matter how you want to chalk it up, the guy cannot extend plays, man. He gets a little bit panicky. He throws the ball to where he feels like throwing it. And sometimes it's in the triple or double or triple-double coverage. I mean, it's like, and the results is what you see. You watch the same games I do. I don't know, how there's any type of discrepancy to that.
See, now
super fast, and he may get rid of the ball super fast. That ain't always going to work because poor coaching. You know who it worked for? Tom Brady. This guy, barely ever scrambled at all. He got rid of the ball super quick too.
Well, one of the thing about Tom Brady was he
spread the ball around.
Well, he was able to call his own play if he wanted to.
So let me ask you a question, Shakes. Do you think Tua
should
call his own plays? You believe that?
He should.
Okay.
I don't know if he could, but I'm saying he should. That's the one thing that I was hoping when we were talking about
hold on.
Two things. Hold on. What are the two things you want to see from Tua this year? The improvements you want to see? I said, number one, slide, and if throw the ball away. You know what I'm saying? If there's nothing open, there's no shame in throwing the ball away. And the other thing that I wanted to see him do was audible and take control of the offense. If let's say they call for a pass to this person and he sees, hey man, I see a run lane open. Let me give it to Mostert. Or if they call a run and he sees that Tyreek Hill is on a one-on-one situation where he knows he has open space, let me call an audible to throw to Tyreek Hill. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want to see.
So let me ask a question, because I really don't know the answer to this. I'm genuinely, this is a genuine question. Has it come out, or anybody in the comment section, has it come out that Tua is not allowed to audible? Tua can never call his own plays?
Well, let me tell you, when you watch Allen.
Hold on, Michael. Okay, hold on. Before we even get into any of that, Alan, I'm being serious. Shake.
Oh, no. And this goes on to that too, because I don't know when Allen goes to the line, right? Say it's a pass, say they call the pass play. When he goes to the line, he sets his protection. If he sees something, he'll either say kill or alert. Now, kill or alert is an audible. And if it's a pass play, we'll say kill is the audible to move to the run play that's also called. Or the alert is a different pass play with different protections. So he's technically calling his own plays, but more times than not, he's calling the exact play. If he sees something and throws somebody in motion, he may stop and call alert because the play that they're supposed to run isn't going to work. It'll get stuffed. He'll get sacked. Something will happen. So if you hear Tua screaming a certain word over and over again, he's calling his own plays. He's audible and out of what's called.
So Shakes.
Yes.
Have you heard has it come out? Tua is not allowed to call his own plays. Everything he calls is strictly by the book, how McDaniel calls it into him.
No, I think he there's been a couple of touchdowns where he actually audibled out of it.
He audibles out of it. Okay. Because for me, I just find it hard to believe as much confidence that Mike McDaniel has portrayed in Tua publicly, and I can only imagine privately, because you never see him get on Tua. You never see him and Tua argue. You never see, no matter what happens with Tua, he never gets down on him. I find it impossible to believe that he hasn't told him, listen, man, if you see something, go for it. Impossible for me to believe that Mike McDaniel, who's been the number one caper for Tua since he's come over here, since they had the whole dial-up, call him on from the private jet and tell him how excited you are to work with him, that he tells him, listen, don't you dare go out there and get fresh and call your own play. You stick to the book. You hear me? No matter what happens, you go with what I say. I find it hard to believe that Tua doesn't have the ability and the power to go out there, and if he sees something, to make it happen. It's impossible. Nobody can make it.
I just think
that.
it's
and unless you've heard it and you can show me where
this issue.
But what's the trust issue?
Like, for instance, he says, well, you know what? What the plays that he's called, even though I didn't think they were going to work, they end up working. So I'll trust him on this play too. You know what I mean? He knows what he's doing. So I'll give him he gave me the benefit of the doubt. Let me give him the benefit of the doubt. And by the way, one thing about motion is not really an audible. It's just from what my understanding is that when they do motioning, is he's trying to get the defense to reveal their cards and see what kind of defense they're actually, if they're doing man, if they're doing zone, depending on where the people move. You know what I mean? If so,
they end up in the spot they're supposed to be by the end of the play.
Yeah, exactly. So,
yeah.
But you'll know, like I'll be watching the game Sunday. I'll let you know. If I think Tuna's audible or not.
Mike, you let me know. If you see him calling his own play, I need you to let me know.
You can tell, like, a lot of times the whole receiver core will touch their helmet. You know, and you see a lot of teams do it. When a quarterback audibles, if you don't touch your helmet, that means you didn't get the play. So he'll do it again until everybody touches their helmet. You know, and that's just one way of knowing everybody's on the same page. You know, back in the day, like Jim Kelly, when Jim Kelly was playing, he was the last quarterback to call his own plays beginning to end. Marv Levy never called in a play. Ted Marchibroda never called in a play. It was all Kelly. And what they would do is after the series was over, they would pull Kelly aside and say, don't call that play. That's not working, you know, and give guidance there. But Kelly knew what he was looking at.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a fun fact. And the one after that would have been Peyton Manning, who had a little bit of leeway because his football knowledge was just off the, you know, it was off the charts of what he could do. But now it's the offensive coordinator, or in Miami's case, McDaniel, or anybody else of the head coaches that are calling the plays. You know, that's their game plan. That's what they're going to go with. But it also amazes me that now this is allegedly a passing league, and we don't have a 5,000-yard passer this year. What's up with that?
What's going on, AB? Pins up to you, my brother.
What's AB?
Everybody likes to say that.
Abba Abba. Great band from Sweden.
They've been saying it, but you can't win without a run game. I know everybody says passing league. You don't have a run game, you ain't got nothing, man. Even if it in the playoffs, you got to have in integral games. You have to have a run game.
I mean, I think that's one of the reasons why Cleveland has been so successful is because of that run game they have.
That's it. I mean, you know, who they had before Joe Flacco went in there? How many quarterbacks have they had? They got a defense. They got a run game. You can win like that. You just need a guy behind hiking the ball to make a couple of plays and to not throw the game away. Just don't blow the game for us. We can take care of it.
Could you imagine if Chubb didn't get hurt?
Of who?
Their Chubb, Nick Chubb.
Well, they won't have Kareem Hunt, that's for sure.
No, they had to bring Kareem Hunt back. He took time away from kicking his girlfriend to come back to the NFL.
Yeah, you're right, Q. The run brings in the dynamics. I get it.
And Color was right though. The Miami pass game sets up the run, where most teams the run sets up the pass. You know, so and Color's absolutely right, and everybody wants to say Color doesn't know what he's talking. Color's probably one of the smartest people on content shows when it comes to theory and all that stuff.
By the way, I remember when I first started listening to the Finn's Tailgate, man. One of the things I used to like to do was because I used to go to sleep early, and I used to listen to Color on replay all the time, man. I enjoyed listening to Color talk.
Hey, don't get me wrong. A lot of times I gotta rewind Color because I miss something of what he says and it doesn't make sense. And then when I listen to it again, I catch what he was meaning, so I kind of get it. But it's just it's impressive how he kind of opens up the eyes of people to what he sees, and a lot of people don't see it. You know, and it's kind of like McDaniel. McDaniel can be the greatest offensive mind of all time, but he still can't figure how to get a quarterback to do a quarterback sneak.
The basics. But Dan B said Tua has limited amount of audibles, only 3 or 4 to use. He needs more freedom to use more of their plays. Now, you weren't here earlier in the show. I said, this is my hope that McDaniel, because I've been hard on him, and everybody call him genius and all this. I mock him for that. I'm hoping that he has just gave a limited amount for defensive coordinators to dissect throughout the course of the season. And we were winning, and it was good enough. And he said, listen, I got these whole other plays right here that we're going to run that we've been practicing, but I'm not breaking them out until we make our run. That way, they don't have anything to, combat these plays. It'll be straight our guys versus their guys on the fly, which we have the talent, I believe, to beat any defense in the league. When you put our best guys on offense against your best guys on defense, we far outshine any, in my opinion. So hopefully we've only been throwing to Hill, throwing to Waddle, and very few Cedric Wilson. But when we make this run, now are the other plays going to come when they say, okay, now we're going to get the Craig Crafts involved. Now we're going to get the Barrios involved big time. Now we're going to get these other guys. And then once they bite on that, we're going to big plays to Tyreek and Waddle. I'm hoping that that's the case. I'm hoping that that's the case. That it's just been they've kept the G14 classified up until this point. But again, what makes me doubt that's the case is I would have hoped he'd have broke some of them out against Baltimore, and but maybe that they felt like we could do it because Baltimore struggled a couple games just before they played us. So maybe they thought, you know what, we'll give them the Jamook playbook, the easies. We'll give them that. And we'll treat them like jabrones, and then we'll see what happens. And then once by the time we realized it wasn't going to work, it was already too late. But then I'd like to think once he realized it too late, he'd take out our starters, and he didn't do that. I don't have much hope for Mike McDaniel having,
By the way, Tua's problem is that he's too robotic. He's got to get off platform and use his legs to keep the defense honest. The linebackers are dropping because they know he won't take off, and that's got to be a threat. I agree 100% with that.
Yo, CB, now, again, you weren't here earlier when I said it, man. Tua was that guy when he first came in the league. I don't know what the hell happened. Well, I know what happened, but I don't understand why. I mean, I know he put on a few pounds, and he probably can't shake like he used to, but when Tua first came in the league, so it's not like he has to learn that. I was telling Michael K this earlier in the show. This ain't something that they got to teach him. It's in him inherently already. He did it in Alabama. He did it when he first came in the league with us. I know he got shook up, and that happened. And then I don't know.
Hey, Larry K is in the building. Larry K's in the building. Make sure you like and subscribe, Larry.
He got those concussions, and then listen. Instead of them working on him being able to, they had to work on him putting on a few extra pounds so we could, be more durable for those hits against these big guys. And, the judo, which I don't care if people make fun or not, man, he hasn't had a concussion. He hasn't took it. He take hits like a champ. So that was important because the best ability is availability, and that's kept him in the game. So it's cool, but hopefully, and again, you weren't here when I said this earlier, hopefully now they're practicing him getting mobile, and in practice they're saying, okay, if this happens, in practicing him running, because all that safe is out the window now. Now it's caution to the wind. Now it's all gas, no brakes. We can't be worried about if you're going to get hurt, and not just Tua, anybody. You're going to get hurt. You're going to get hurt. It is what it is at this point. We need to play to win by any means necessary.
And Lucci, you make a good point, but the problem is you can't work on just one part of Tua's game at a time. You got to work on 3 or 4. So while he's learning, while he's trying to get his yellow belt, he should also been trying to run the 100-meter hurdles as well.
Hold on. Listen, I don't think he's worried about a yellow belt. My guy's staying at the white. But we'll see. Hopefully this is what happens. I think he was content with the white. If
he wants a black belt, go to Walmart, and they're on sale there.
Yo, Cobra Kai never died. The judo worked. People could clown him and whatever. I was upset when it came out. I was like, why would you say that? Why not just do it? Why would you give that for people to, clown him about, and even give more? Because we know Tua, much as he likes to act like he's admitted, I keep receipts. Yo, this guy thinks about all this stuff people says. He doesn't have tough skin. I don't care what nobody says. Tua ain't no tough skin guy. This stuff bothers him. Tua carries that stuff with him.
Personally, I think they let it out.
You say something to me, and it'll bother me in my head where I'll end up having to straighten that out. Because, it sticks. I'm that kind. It's nothing wrong with this. Some people are overthinkers. They're thinkers, and they're going to think. Tua is a thinker. So when he put this out that the judo, whoever the idea that was, his PR, whoever needs to be fired. That was the dumbest thing ever.
I think it's damaging.
Close covers, went and did what you had to do, and work with it, because all that
But I
stuff,
agree, it was damage control. It was more
was
damage
stupid.
I think it was damage control and for no other reason.
just like Hard Knocks, stupid. you put him out there and you let him be so people see, and then they clown him. Just like when this mayonnaise coffee drinking ass guy beat us on Monday Night Football. Oh, I can't wait to see the next episode. It's the dumbest thing ever, man. You're giving people bulletin board material. You're giving Tua more stuff to think about. Tua already overthinks, man. He's a thinker, and he overthinks, and it affects his play. And you're giving more stuff for him. You're piling more on his plate. Yo, the PR team for Tua and the Dolphins is terrible. Terrible. We're supposed to be covert. You're out there making a big spectacle of yourself. This is like when Joe Pesci told De Niro in Casino, you're out here with your cigarette smoker and your pink robe. You're making a big spectacle. You're on TV. Aces high. What the hell are you doing on TV anyways? You know what I mean? This is really that situation that we shouldn't be doing any of that. The PR team is terrible. It's too much. It's too much. We're worried about everything else and being flashy and the greatest show on turf, and everybody's smiling and joking. When do you ever see McDaniels upset when we get blown out? When do you ever see him yelling at anybody? When do you ever see the penalties recede? We're the most lackadaisical team in the league.
I don't think McDaniel, I think he's afraid that somebody's going to squash him like a little grape because he's a little twimp. I don't think he can be all the, it's not like you got somebody like Dan Campbell or Vrabel that'll get in your face and he's going to be a tough takedown.
Well, like Brian Flores was.
Yeah, Flores. Yeah, Flores is a tough guy, but and that's McDaniel's coaching style too, and that's.
But we,
you got to be
things like that with Flores. It's listen, you trade off certain things for certain things, man. Life is balance. You don't want a guy like Flores that's a hard nose. Okay, so you trade off the penalties for this guy who's more lighthearted and takes things lighter. So it's better for the Tua and and that, but we traded off a less disciplined team. And defense, you guys say Boyer, call me conspiracy theorist. Boyer was not that good. That was, in my opinion, Flores, because that first half of that season where our defense was terrible, I feel like Flores at the end said, you know what, man, watch out. He pulled a Pat Riley, what he did to Stan Van Gundy, and said, yo, with these guys, you can't get a stop. Get out of here. And he started calling the plays and that's when we made that 8-9 game run, to where we had a shot to get in the playoffs. Was when Flores took over the defense and Flores making them calls. Nobody can convince me otherwise. Because then when Flores left, what happened with our defense the following season with Boyer? The same results we had in the first half of that season and Flores last season. So, it's just you trade off an evil for a less evil, but you still have bad. I'd like to see more discipline with the team personally. Last week, he was taking away the ping pong table last year. That was his discipline. Yeah.
No, that was Tyreek Hill did that. I don't even think McDaniel had a say in that.
I don't know.
I thought that was Tyreek Hill that did that. But you know what, Lucci, you always say, and I love the phrase that you always use, and it's you have to be a leader of men.
Yeah.
And Mark, you know who this guy is real quick? And Mark, do you know who this guy is?
I don't.
Can you read that comment, Mike K?
Yeah, I got it. I'm confused. Yeah, from the Dolphins community, Allen is a turnover machine. Allen has 19 total turnovers. Tua has 18, but Allen is responsible for 42 TDs. Tua 28. Anyone care to respond?
Well, the reason I'm not going to care to respond is because this motherfucker doesn't come when I'm sorry.
We just got remonetized.
When y'all lose, he's MIA. But when you're winning, he shows up. See, I have more respect for you, and I banter back and forth to you because win or lose, I see your face no matter what.
See, you know what, Shake? Because I'm a glutton, and I also know deep down I had zero to do with the loss.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I have nothing to hang my head about. I wasn't out there playing like an idiot. So you take your beating.
Be able to take it too.
You know, you watch these YouTube videos of fans throwing televisions and knocking Christmas trees over, and hey, really,
Lou, what up, Lou?
What's up,
Hey,
Lou?
you ready for Sunday, man? I got my, I'm ready for Sunday, baby.
You already know. Yeah, hell yeah, I'm in the building. But real quick, I wanted to come up because when I heard, because I agree, right? Like, I'm not going to say I disagree about with like McDaniel, right? Not getting in people or screaming at people, and I get that people want to see that, right? I'm not going to say that behind closed doors he doesn't do it, but I just want to see where everybody's head's at, right?
Shout out to Q for the $2 donation.
Appreciate
Larry
that.
K, nothing but love.
Absolutely.
Hey, appreciate you, Q, for the donation, man. Much love, brother. Thank you. Means a lot
Absolutely.
to me.
Absolutely. But since I'll keep it Buffalo and Dolphins, right? We have a Buffalo guy up here with Michael K. We've seen Stephon Diggs on the sideline, right? Throwing temper tantrums, going crazy on the sideline, right? Have you ever seen Sean McDermott go up to him and say anything to him?
Nope. Never.
So we sit here and we say, well, McDaniel needs to do that, but you don't see that going across the league, bro. Like, I get it. I see the frustration.
Hold up, but Lou, winning teams. Show me teams that compete every year and talk about those coaches.
Okay. Well, McDaniel has to learn. I'm not disagreeing with you. Okay. And what I'm saying is, when we say, well, McDaniel's not doing it on the sideline, we don't see him going at people. Well, show me the coach that you do see it.
Andy Reid, who's a player's coach, who's a laughy, jokey guy, but you see him fire somebody up when he needs to.
Oh, yeah, but
as far as the friendly coach, because I could say Jim Harbaugh, or John Harbaugh, but he's you don't really see him as a laughy, jokey kind of guy. So it's more of a personality type that's similar to Mike McDaniel, Andy Reid. And that's the best example I could get. And that's somebody who you see has competed at a high level with whatever team he's coached in his entire career. Really, you know?
Well, again, but that's a certain situation, right? Okay, cool. It happened. I'm not trying to sit here and defend, but I watched Mike McDaniel get in Josh Boyer's behind. I would say the other word, but welcome back to the monetization club. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, but I seen McDaniel get in Josh Boyer's behind last year, walk right up to him on a primetime game, cameras on him, and telling him hey, get your stuff together. Right? Like, it happened. I think what we want as fans, we get frustrated because we see the potential in this team, how good they could be, and when they fall short, it hurts all of us. But when we come out here and we say, again, look at Q, perfect example, Mike Tomlin. He is a tough-minded coach and stuff, and again, a winning coach. But you don't see Mike Tomlin going around yelling at players, getting in the players' face. You just don't see that. Right?
No, I see Mike Tomlin. I see Mike Tomlin get in people.
But what you do see is Mike Tomlin.
The whole highlight. I don't know where he came up with that, because Mike Tomlin is a horrible example.
Well, you see that Mike Tomlin
acting like Bill Belichick, but Mike Tomlin 100% will get into a player when he's out of pocket.
I don't think he so much gets in their faces, but I guarantee he'll cut your ass the very next day.
I've seen him straighten people out, or I've seen him, show disappointment. This is what I'm saying. I'm not saying grab a guy by the face mask and shake him like a dog. I'm saying show disappointment or frustration when a player comes on the sideline that's out of pocket or doing things that's detrimental to the team. I've seen Mike Tomlin on
who's the receiver that went out to LA and then he went to Tampa and quit at halftime? Who was that?
Antonio Brown.
Tomlin didn't like him, get out. Claypool didn't like him, get out. Shipped him off to Chicago.
Yeah,
but you didn't see it on the sideline.
But it took him like 2.5, almost 3 years to get rid of him, though. Well, Antonio Brown had been a problem. He didn't get rid of Antonio Brown just because one game he made a mistake. They got into it and got rid of him. He was in Pittsburgh. He had multiple mistakes and doing clownish things, and then they got rid of him. You see what I'm saying? Like, we're asking basically a first-time head coach, this is his second year, to be walking around And again, I'm not saying I disagree with anybody up here, right? What I'm saying is, and you guys were just talking about the way Brian Flores was. I heard everybody tell me that Brian Flores couldn't walk around the building waving his big stick, right? Because he was a first-time head coach in year 3. But now we want Mike McDaniel, a first-time head coach in year 2, to be walking around waving big stick. Like, we can't have it both ways. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
And make sure y'all hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you.
Hey, so listen to this. Mike Tomlin is a bad example, and I'm going to tell you why. Mike Tomlin is a no-nonsense guy anyways. Mike Tomlin, you don't see him shucking and jiving all the time, skinning and grinning. Mike Tomlin carries himself as there's certain people that you see and you be like, you just know, but this guy, okay. It's certain things you set the precedence with people where you're not a laughing, jokey kind of guy. You know, Mike Tomlin's that guy. I'm not saying that he's a jerk. I'm not saying he doesn't have personality, because he is a cool guy and he's got a great personality. However, when it's business time, Mike Tomlin is all business, you know, where Mike McDaniel ain't that. This guy wants to joke and laugh about everything. So I'm saying, as far as a person that's similar in personality to Mike McDaniel, the best that you could come up with is Andy Reid, in my opinion. You can't name another coach because the other coaches might have a good personality, might be lighthearted, but are all business when it's football time. You know, McDaniel just wants to laugh and joke all the time.
See, now here's the other thing. Like, and Lewis brought up Stephon Diggs having tantrums. Why don't I see that out of Josh Allen? Why don't I see that drive out of somebody that's supposed to be a leader of the team? You know, and maybe these coaches are allowing the players to be that voice. You know, and I think Diggs gets bent because substandard play and he just wants to win. You know, he wants to be in Buffalo. But he also doesn't want people to lay down and just lose.
Well. Let me just chime in here real quick again with Ant, because again, Ant, I'm not disagreeing with you, bro. I'm really not. I'm just gonna throw another perspective, right? When I hear Mike McDaniel is not that guy, right? Going into Baltimore, and that's week 17. We're going into the last week of the season, right? There's only 2 teams, right? In the NFL, there's 32 of them. There's only 2 teams that, after a loss, has followed that up with a win. That's the Baltimore Ravens and that's the Miami Dolphins.
Right.
So for all the wrong that the Dolphins do, right? And I think it was Shake. I think I heard Shake say that earlier. If it was someone else, forgive me. But that's a complete statement. That shows me a guy that, after a loss, or what, you know, blame it on whoever, the quarterback, whether it's him with his play calls, whether it was a receiver dropping ball, whatever the facts is, the guy goes in there, gets back in the lab, and he figures it out. To me, that's the guy. That's a guy, right? I mean, that's something we should be proud of. If a guy, to me, is, you know, if adversity hits, you lose a game, then you come out, you lose another one. Then people in the media start talking, you lose another one. And by the time you look up, you're 5-6 games in of a losing streak. Bro, that's impressive this season that the Miami Dolphins and Baltimore Ravens are still, to this day, going into the last week of the season, the only 2 teams that, after a loss, has a win. Like, I can't – how can I sit here and say that Mike McDaniel's not the guy? Like, bro, trust me, and I love – Shake knows, I love Brian Flores, right? I absolutely love – I love his coaching style. I loved everything about him. But I also loved Tony Dungy. And Dungy wasn't getting in nobody's face. They even said it in the locker room. Tony Dungy wouldn't even scream or yell at nobody. The man would never curse. But he led 2 teams, or a team, to the NFC Championship game, and then the AFC team to the Super Bowl, and ultimately won it. I think 2 ways you can get it done both ways. See, I think when we start talking about
another one, hold on real quick, Lewis. Another guy you could talk about, Jim Caldwell is like that as well.
Yo, there's a lot of
absolutely.
And hold on real quick, Lou. I'm not saying that you can't be a leader of men if you're only a hard nose. Okay, the most popular and easy way I can give you an example is Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. 2 totally contrast in personalities and the way that they led, you know, their march. Two totally different, and they both had, a crazy impact on people and got their message across, just as the same. So I'm not saying that you can be, you have to be this way to get wins or to get results. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is that you have to hold people accountable. You can't, you can't just, and I don't know, this guy says, oh, do you watch? I don't watch Hard Knocks. I never watched an episode in my entire life. Not once. Not just because it's Dolphins. I hate that it's with the Dolphins, and I especially won't watch it now. I think it's the same. I don't know. I won't even get into that. I don't watch Hard Knocks.
Hold on. One thing.
Go ahead, Shake.
I don't know how that works.
One thing to your point. I look here. I'm gonna give both of you guys a point on this because I do agree that to your point, Lewis, that Dungy and Jim Caldwell were not in your faces, but to the point that Anthony's trying to make is that he wasn't. You never seen Tony Dungy making jokes. You never heard him trying to make the players laugh and hey, give me 5 and wearing drip on the sideline.
It was dead ass serious
business, and I think that's the point. I think he's trying to convey as well.
And I get that, right? I absolutely get that. But Shake, you can vouch for this because Shake's listened to me long enough, right? I didn't give these excuses when we tried to blame Brian Flores for our problems, right? And I'm damn sure not going to start now with Mike McDaniel. The fact of the matter is, right, when I look at a guy like Tony Dungy, let's go back to those teams that he coached, right? Because I hear this word accountability. Well, it's easy, right, to be the way you are when you got some dogs on that field with you. Because Warren Sapp played on that field, and he was an absolute dog. The accountability came from Warren Sapp. The accountability came from a Hall of Famer in Derek Brooks, right? The accountability came from a Hall of Famer in John Lynch. We don't have those dogs on the field. It's not a coaching issue. It's a player mentality issue, right? It's like the players are soft. To me, it's not a coaching issue because, again, when you throw on the film or you watching games, there's plays to be made on the field, right? But when the players don't execute those plays, we want to come and say, well, the coaching, it has to get better. How? There's plays to be made. In the running game, there's holes to run through. The running back just don't hit them. Or the quarterback makes a great throw and the wide receiver drops the ball. Or the quarterback is staring down a receiver when there's other receivers wide open on the field and he's trying to streak it in from third. That's not a coaching issue, bro. Listen, I think we all played sports up here, right? A coach didn't have to get me hyped for a game. A coach didn't have to have accountability in me. I held my players accountable. I held myself accountable. And I think that's what this team is lacking at its finest. I think Michael K made a great point, right? When I said Stephon Diggs is throwing tantrums, I don't want people to take that the wrong way. Now, is it a good look when you're watching it on the sideline? No, it's probably not a good look. But at least you know Stephon Diggs is trying to keep people accountable. It's bothering him, right? When was the last time you seen a Dolphin player upset like that?
Who's got the most Super Bowl rings in the history of the league at quarterback? Tom Brady, right?
That's Tom Brady. Absolutely.
How many tantrums did you see this guy throw?
Tons. Guys,
well, that's what I'm saying.
How many times you see this guy throw? I mean, what matters is, and this is what I'm saying about Tua earlier. The difference is these guys, like you're saying, Lou, to your point, these guys don't give a damn what people think. They don't need it. They could care less who thinks what. This all inside of them is what all that matters. They don't care who's watching or who's doing what. You know, they're upset. We don't see, and maybe that's the point I'm trying to make, Lou. Maybe you just made me realize. I don't see anybody getting upset that we lose and like get blown out. I don't see anybody having a fit. Like I'm having a fit at home watching the game. You guys are the ones that are supposed to really care about your legacy and your contracts and your incentives. And I don't see you getting upset at all. Nobody on the team.
We ain't got no dogs.
Chubb,
we ain't got no dogs, man.
Coming off. That's the first sign of I don't give a damn he got that penalty. I get it, bro. It's frustrating. You know what I mean? Whatever. And people can be like, oh, he cost us. Whatever. At least somebody finally, got upset. And against Baltimore at the end, when I see Ramsey and everybody, okay, finally, swing on somebody. That's why Brian Cox is my all-time favorite player. All time. We're losing. People talk he's going to swing on somebody. As a young man, he was my favorite player because I know at least we lose to Buffalo. A couple of them are getting swung on, and the fans are getting spit on, and the bird to the fans. He's doing everything. All-time favorite player.
Well, and let me ask you this.
Somebody's getting beat up. You hit Marino late, he's coming off the sidelines. Damn that. Joey Porter is the last player we had that I really liked. That time against the Jets, it's the opening game. Rex Ryan talking all that stuff the week before. When they put the ball for the opening kickoff, he'd come off the sideline and kick the ball off the tee and got us a 15-yard. Damn that 15-yard penalty, because that set the tone for the game. That's where I agree with you, man. That's my point. That's right. My point. It's more of a player issue, right? Because I think you made a good point, right, when you brought up Bill Belichick, the guy that has the most Super Bowls as a head coach, right? And we've all heard the stories about how Belichick in the locker room, right, behind the closed doors, would absolutely ream Tom Brady a new one, right? But over that 20-year history, when do you remember Bill Belichick on the sideline reaming Tom Brady? But
never.
I've seen him go at it a couple of times. Not a whole lot.
Listen, I don't remember Belichick at all. But they say in the building, right? And again, I would just caution people when we say things, right? Like, we don't know what's going on behind the closed doors. That's all I'm saying. I would hope that Mike McDaniel is walking in that building, lighting people's behinds on fire behind closed doors. But if we all expect Mike McDaniel to change the way he is and be on the sideline, rah, 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 screaming and doing whatever, he's just not that guy.
He's not that guy.
Like that's not going to happen. But to me, I don't think he needs to be. I think it's more of the players that have to hold themselves accountable. It just is what it is. I was always built like that. I was raised like that, right? I think Ant, you were raised like that. I think Ant was raised like, or Shake and Michael K. I'm pretty sure. Like, bro, if you got it, you got it. If you got that dog in you, you don't need another man to get me like hype. Like, I'm a manager at my job, but I got another manager that's over me, right? When I go to work in the morning, my manager's not there, but I get my job done. I don't need my manager, my immediate supervisor, to be there to guide me and hold my hand and get me through my day and pep talk me so I can get my job. No, bro. Like, eventually the players got to do it themselves. You see what I'm saying? Like,
I do.
Well,
but sometimes
you got to look at, like, there's a clip of Peyton Manning and Jeff Saturday going at it on the sidelines. And you know what? And they were going toe to toe, and then they separated and they came back. They hugged it out, and they went out there and they ended up winning the game. And that's what the Bills don't have that I know of. You know, I don't know if the Dolphins have it, but who was the coach then? Paterno? Or no, he was for Penn State. Shit. Who's the guy with the cancer that's on McAfee? Starts with a P. But anyways, he just said, he came right out and said he let them guys handle it. he let the players handle the situations.
Sometimes everybody needs, listen, even though it's guys built like me, we all have times where you need somebody. There's times when I've been out of line and I have somebody that tells me, yo, you're out of line. You know, you're out of pocket. You got to, we all have to be reeled in sometimes. Everybody. Nobody's perfect to the point where they don't have.
Pagano, that's it. Sorry.
No matter what, there has to be, you have to have a brother in arms that keeps you from crashing out, or that when you're down, that picks you up. You know, I mean, that's just what it is. Nobody's perfect. Ed Reed was that guy for the Hurricanes. You know, when he had that famous speech when we're losing and they asked him if against Florida State, you all right? He's like, no, man, I'm not all right. I'm hurt. But, you know, we're out here. We're supposed to be, and we're not. And he was that guy. But then when he came to Baltimore, Ray Lewis was that guy. And, you know, and everybody has to have somebody, you know, that you can lean on when you need to. We don't even have a guy,
and I agree.
We don't even have a guy that Well, I don't see him. It's not like it's a glaring. Who is that guy? We don't have.
We don't have it.
The head coach position, if anything, should be to tell somebody or see it in somebody, because you can't tell me there's not somebody on our team that isn't that dog or doesn't have that ability to bring it out of them. You know what I'm saying? There has to be.
Well, again, but see,
whose job
Anthony,
is
you said, but it's everybody's job.
That's the closest thing we got, Q. I'm with you on that. Pardon me, because Tyreek Hill, I believe, truly, and I've said that before. So you know what? Pardon me, because go ahead, Lou.
No, but even right there, Tyreek Hill, he's not getting rah-rah. Anthony, you say you don't watch Hard Knocks. On this last episode, after the touchdown catch, right, that he dropped, he just went to the sideline like it was nonchalant. He like nothing happened, right? That's not holding yourself accountable.
Yeah,
we don't have one of those dogs, bro. Like we don't. And again, I heard you just bring up the Hurricanes. I'm assuming you're a Hurricane fan, right?
Of course. Yeah.
Okay, bet. One of the greatest lines a ex-Hurricane ever said was what? Big time players make big time plays in big time moments, right? Santana Moss. Did he say anything about coaching? Was he talking about the coach there?
No,
he said big time players make big time plays. And that's what this team is lacking. When the moments are the brightest, right? When the moments are there for the taking, this team crumbles.
And he had that tiptoe catch for a Super Bowl win, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely, right? Bro, the players got to police themselves, bro. That's all I'm saying. The coaches are there Monday through Saturday, right? Put that game plan in. Get these guys ready to play. Make sure they know their assignments. That's what I think a coach is for me, right? I'm not speaking for no one else, but my job is to get a player ready Monday through Saturday. But on Sunday, whatever time the game is, 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, or 8 o'clock, or Monday night, you got to go out there and execute.
Sure.
And there's only so much I can do, bro. I can't hold your hand out there neither. Because Mike McDaniel's not throwing any passes. Mike McDaniel's not making any tackles. Mike McDaniel's not catching no passes. And Mike McDaniel's not, I mean, he's doing his job Monday through Saturday. Yeah. The players are the ones that have to do it, bro.
Yeah. And to your point, Lewis, the thing about coaching is, from my understanding, I never played football unless it's Madden. But anyway, listen, as far as my understanding is, coaching is as in your early stages of football, coaching is the most important. And as you develop as a player, the less and less you depend on your coaching. I think coaching only that equates to when you're learning the game and trying to get the fundamentals. But once you got that down pat as a professional, you have to. Now it's on you to take all the tools that you learned before. You got to high school, you got to college. That's on you now.
Exactly, Shake, bro. Listen, I just think, and again, this is not towards Anthony, because a lot of the times. And even tonight, I agree with Ant, right? I'm not saying I disagree with Ant. All I'm saying is, it's how can I can't keep putting blame on everywhere else when every time we place blame, it's not on the field, right? It's either a owner problem, or it's a general manager problem, or it's a coaching problem. Like, I don't understand the people, and no one on this panel, especially not Michael K, because he's not a Dolphin fan, but I'm not saying Anthony did this, and I know damn well Shake didn't do it. But when Brian Flores was, I guess, what everybody's saying now, the in-your-face kind of coach, the one that will call you out, the one that everybody in this fan base told me our players, right, that are still on this team, Christian Wilkins, Jalen Phillips, Tua Tagovailoa, the guys that are still in the locker room, they can't be coached like that. But now all of a sudden, right, we want that coach back. We want a guy to do that. When we had one, people told me that's not allowed in today's era, right? We're moved off. It's the PC world. But now all of a sudden we got a happy-go-lucky coach where he eats his Lucky Charms in the morning and goes chase the rainbow after. And now people are upset that he does that. Like, bro, you can't have it both ways. And I'm here to keep I want the same energy. I didn't allow it with Brian Flores to blame. I'm not going to allow it with Coach McDaniel now neither. The time is to put the blame on the players. They got to execute.
So listen, I'm not saying that we need I don't even know the word I'm looking for at head coach. What I'm saying is there has to be some point in time where frustration is shown visibly with poor results. That's what I'm saying. All the joking and laughing. Listen, if I'm going to war, or if I have to, I don't know what else to say. A serious situation, a fight or whatever. I don't know how else to put it because this is what I'm talking
I'm gonna
about.
play football, yeah, pretty much.
I'm not taking. Listen, you laugh and joke all the time, and I ain't never seen you serious. Now I don't know what your capabilities are, but I never seen you serious. I'm not picking you to go with me. Laughing and joking is cool. That's all part of life. But there has to be, let me see your business face. When there's business, there's certain guys in certain situations, without getting too personal, where you just know, well, this guy's laughing and joking all the time, man. This guy's always skinning, always showing his teeth. This guy's nobody to take serious. DMX said it one time. He's like, man, nobody wants to be happy all the time and get taken advantage of all the time. Always smile and get taken advantage of all the time. It's a serious thing, man. I just want to see, let me see some disappointment. I haven't seen that. It's all laughing and joking and jokes about everything. It's not jokey mad to me. If it's a serious matter and you're always making jokes, it shows insecurity. That's what joking is. When people laugh at everything, you laugh like, damn, you think it's funny, but it's serious. Have you ever been to serious and the guy's laughing? Oh, it's funny. Oh, it's a defense nervous mechanism is what it is. But these guys don't have. I'm not saying you have to be a tyrant. I'm just saying, let me see some disappointment when things happen. Let me see a facial anything show some disappointment. That's all I'm saying. And as far as always on the players, I agree. It's time for them to show up. It's up to them to do their job. But what I disagree with you, Lou, is ultimately it's up to the head coach. That's what you're a coach. And like you say, a manager in your position or anything. When you're in a position to manage people or to coach people, and the coach is a strong word, you have to coach certain things out of people. That's what you see in them that they may not see in themselves. That's what a coach does. You bring out the best in people. And sometimes too hard-nosed approach doesn't work for everybody. Some people need that hard approach. They don't need a laughy, jokey guy. Some people need a light-hearted guy just to be able to, because maybe their father yelled at them too much. So that makes them shy away from that. So they need a guy that's more lighthearted. So they open up to them. But it's up to a coach to see personalities and to know how to bring the best out of people. And when you don't, it's up to the coach to show disappointment. Dang, I thought we were working on this. I thought this is what, and you got to show disappointment. Ultimately, to me, it's up to the head coach to get the best results out of everybody. That's why coaches get fired. When you have crazy talent and you can't bring the best out of these people, then it's time for you to go. I always revert back to Pat Riley telling Stan Van Gundy to beat it. Make your big head get small, kick rocks, make like a tree and leave. You got all this talent and you can't bring the best out of these guys to win? He had how many years to do it? He got rid of them and did it in half a season and brought us a championship. First one ever. Because, it takes a certain guy to see talent and to bring the best out of people. Everybody can't do it. And if Stan Van Gundy was a pushover, Pat Riley wasn't. That's what it comes down to.
But Stan Van Gundy was going to take that team to the ultimate. They were winning the championship anyway with Stan Van Gundy.
They weren't. No, they weren't. They didn't the year before, and they were failing crazy the following year. We lost to the Detroit Pistons in the Eastern Conference Finals the year before.
Okay.
The year before that. The next year, it went to happen again. He was faltering crazy. Pat Riley told him, yo, watch out, man. Let me show you how this is done. And we won the championship.
Well, again, but they had good teams. I would just say
they had a
this,
good team. They had a great team. Listen, they had a great team, but a bad coach that couldn't bring the best out of these guys. So Pat Riley stepped in and said, let me show you the best out of these guys.
Anthony, you know what? I got a little issue with that, though. Because now you're talking about a coach that's in charge of 12 men versus a coach that has 53 guys he has to keep in line.
No. It's not about 53 or 12 because only 11 guys show up on the field. So that's not that. It's not 53. It's not that. It's not that. This is what it is. And there's more than just, the 5 starters and whatever. It's about bringing the best out of the players you have that are showing up on the court or on the field and getting the best out of these people. And about getting results and seeing the talent in people and getting those people to see the talent in themselves and getting them to play to the best of their abilities. That's what great head coaches do. It's all about the coaches. Because listen, Bill Belichick has won crazy championships with crazy less talent. He gets guys that nobody ever heard of and sees what they're good at and really exposes what they're good at. That's what Mike McDaniel's been doing. It seems to be. But he's lacking the one thing, man, and it's discipline, or it's accountability, or it's whatever you want to call it. But you guys watch the same games I do. Who's taking it serious? I saw one guy say Tyreek got his money. Maybe that was Nene. Tyreek got his money. He don't care. I don't believe that. I don't believe Tyreek's that guy. I've seen him fail in big moments a lot this season, but I don't think he's I don't care. I got my money. He's not that guy to me.
But again, Ant, right? And listen, I'm sorry to cut you off, but
no, you're right.
But nah, bro, because again, see, if that's what we're gonna say, then listen. If we're gonna keep it 100, right? Like the young, but like my kids tell me, keep it 100, right?
Yeah.
Well, Brian Flores was that rah guy. He didn't do everything you're asking for because he never won nothing. And the fact of the matter is that Mike McDaniel is the first coach in the 25 past years that's going to the playoffs back-to-back years. He's getting he's holding up his end of the bargain, bro.
Yeah,
it's the players. It's not him. There's only so much he can do. You see what I'm saying? Like, if we're going to make the point, well, a coach has to overcome and a coach has to, get things done. Well, as much as we love Brian Flores for all the things we're talking about now, right? You're getting in people's faces and being tough and trying to galvanize. He never did what Mike McDaniel did.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that he did, and I'm not saying I'm caping for Flores. I don't know that Flores was such a defensive minded coach that I feel like our offense was kind of like, I don't know. I feel like we were deficient in the offensive category. What I liked about Flores is that game against Cincinnati when Jakeem Grant took that late hit and he took a couple after the second one. Man, he was halfway on the field, ready to go in. That's what I like to see. That's what. Listen, this is the type of stuff that sparks your guys to want to be with you. When you're in that much invested in your players and you see something dirty and it gets you so upset that you're to the point you're ready to fight as a head coach. You're on the field halfway, across the field going at the guy that hit your guy dirty. And this is multiple times. So it ain't an accident. These guys are trying to hurt my guys and he's ready to fight for it. That's just something, like I've said earlier, that I admire. And listen, that's the type of personality that gets your guys that'll fight for you. It was just certain guys that are at the pinnacle of our team, the focal point of our team, weren't built for that kind of personality. That's all I'm saying. If we had Brian Flores as a head coach and Mike McDaniel as an offensive coordinator, then I feel like we would, with the team we have now, forget about it. I feel like we'd be unstoppable.
Hey, listen, I'm not gonna sit there and debate that with you. I ain't got nothing for that.
I'm not saying I want Flores as a head coach, but he had certain things I liked about him. McDaniel did
and that's where I'm with you, and I completely agree. That scenario against Cincinnati when Flores walked his happy behind halfway up the field to fight for Jakeem Grant. I was in the building. I was there when he did it. I absolutely love that, right?
Yeah.
But to your point, when you say that's the thing that makes players want to run through a wall for you, that is also true. But they didn't get the job done that year.
No, they didn't.
So it didn't work. You see what I'm saying? Like,
What happened
like
that year? What happened that year when we could have made the playoffs?
what happened? You tell me what happened, Ed.
Players
I
didn't
know
show up.
what happened.
The players didn't show up.
CB3 always tells me I love to talk about it, but that was the first collapse that I saw. Like when
What
it
was
mattered.
it? Well, okay, and a collapse from what? A
But
coach or
I'm
a player?
gonna say coaching too. Duke Johnson was ripping off 5, 6, 7-yard runs just like last year, and we went away from the run. You know, people want to see the quarterback hold his own, and he doesn't hold his own when it matters. You know,
but real quick, Crypto, what's going on? Let me welcome Crypto real quick. What's going on, Crypto?
Hey, what's up, Shake? Can you hear me? I'm on
Crypto.
I'm on the Australian network, so you gotta bear with me. I don't know if you can hear me.
I have no idea who that is. I have no idea who Crypto is. So
what?
All right, pipe down, Lewis. Pipe down.
I have no idea who that is.
Okay. I'm testing out my VPNs, man. As of right now, I'm in Australia. That's what they say.
So
but
I guess
how
you
y'all
don't know,
boys doing?
people with you don't know people that start with C or E, do you? You don't know CB83.
Listen, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people I don't know, Shake. But that's for damn sure. There's a lot of people I don't know.
Lewis got to get out of his notebook. I'm gonna send you a special number 2 pencil, Lewis.
You don't know the Texas
I got a
Tornado,
special
Ian
number
Dolphin
2 pencil
fan?
for you, Lewis.
The GOAT.
Oh man.
All I'm saying is, man, listen. At the end of the day, before I get up out of here,
sure.
it's on the players for me. Like I don't care. All these excuses. And we want this. We want this. Nah, bro. It's on the players. The players have to execute, and if we do that, we should win a lot of games.
And Michael,
and we've seen that over the years.
What's that?
You still there?
Yeah, I'm eating chips and salsa.
Would you agree with the same sentiment when the Bills fans come after McDermott?
Well, McDermott, this is my opinion as far as McDermott goes. He actually, whatever he does, he has control of his team. And I was thinking about this while they were going back and forth. Very seldom, if at all, do you see a Bills player or an agent come out on Twitter and talk about the Buffalo Bills. If they go on Twitter, they're talking about stuff other than their job. But yet I hear other content creators calling out Teron Armstead for what he posted on Twitter, or what Tyreek Hill put on Twitter, or this agent said this guy's playing. You know what? It's not the agent's place to say if that player's playing on Sunday or not. Wait until 90 minutes before the game and see if he's on the inactive list. And that's a lot. The culture in Miami is a lot different than the culture in Buffalo, just by what I see, just with the eye test.
And
I don't know if that's McDaniel not having control of his guys or not letting it bother him. But that has to do with players policing themselves.
And that last comment you put up, Shake, by whoever that was, I have no idea who that was. But again, that's cap. That's what we do. That's what we do in the fan base when someone goes against what another person is saying, and let's say there's 3 or 4 people on the phone call or panel or whatever, and it's one person versus the other 2, 3, 4, however many it is, and someone else is going against their narrative, they say you're getting cooked.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody cooked me. Trust me about that. They just don't like what people are saying because it doesn't fit what their agenda is or what their narrative is. And that's fine, because I do the same thing too. But let's stop with the cap. Everybody knows what our issue here is. And it's not a Tua thing. It's just not Tua. We have a lot of issues on this team. But, everybody wants to reach for something else. And they always want to point the finger and point blame and stuff. And it doesn't work like that. That's not how the real world works.
Is this stemming from Barry Jackson, Lewis? I missed that whole conversation. Was it stemming for what he was saying or no?
It's just in general, Crypto. right? Like we did this
Oh,
thing.
okay, because everybody
I
was
think
kind of fired up about Barry Jackson. I kind of thought everybody was talking about
What,
it.
what,
I
what,
didn't
hap-
know
what
what
happened
it
with
was.
Barry Jackson? What I miss?
No, he just fired up a stream and saying Queen said something about how significant playing San Francisco was to playing us because he had the similar things and we was figured out. He had a stream about that. I thought everybody was on edge about it.
Or Barry Cunningham?
yeah,
Yeah,
Barry
Barry Cunningham
Cunningham.
was he had Rich
Okay, you said
Eisen and
Barry Jackson.
McQueen
I'm
talk
like,
about. Oh yeah, Barry Cunningham. Damn, I said Barry. Yeah, Cunningham. Yeah, he said
I'm
with
like,
Rich
damn. I
Eisen
said,
had
when
McQueen on the show.
do Barry Jackson make streams? Damn, man.
Barry Cunningham.
Oh yeah, because that's what
But yeah, he
that
was.
was a video Curry
Yeah,
was doing about, right?
yeah, but I don't know if it was that particular video because he was on late in the evening. He was just on. He just went off like 8 o'clock.
Well, yeah, like I said, it's hard
Yeah.
for me to believe that these same players are the same players in the locker room with the previous regime that was too hard on them, and nobody in this fan base liked it. Right? It's the same
Yeah.
players, and all the fans they hated the way players were getting
hmm
treated and stuff. And now all of a sudden, it's the same players again, right? But now in a whole different regime with a whole bunch of different coaches, now the coaching is too soft and we need more discipline and stuff. That's what I mean by people just, and
hmm
again, no shot at anybody on this
Yeah,
panel.
because that ain't
That's not
me.
what I'm doing.
I
Right.
that
I know.
ain't,
Yeah,
yeah.
I know that's not you. And that's
Yeah, I
why
dislike Flores because it was just crazy how bad the offense was, and he
I
was.
liked Flores too. Trust me, I get it. I'm not taking no shot at anybody up here. Like I said, I agree with you, bro. I'm not saying that. I'm talking to the people, and they know who they are because a lot of them are in the chat now. They were the first ones crying about discipline and toughness. They were the first ones doing it, and now all of a sudden we need more toughness. We need more
And
discipline.
discipline, right?
I
Yeah, they
just
said
I just
we
don't
need
see
a
how
little bit
that
more
works.
edge, like
Hey,
Flores.
Right.
Yeah,
real,
At the end of the
they're
day, we
asking
got to
for
put
what
the
they threw
players
out the
on.
door, Lewis.
Lou,
Exactly, Crypto.
hold on. Let me give a point to what you're saying real quick. So the difference is, and this is one thing I can say about Greer or Ross or whoever's idea was where we were super deficient with Flores when he was a super defensive coach and was a great defensive mind and had our defense, because I believe it was Flores, like I said, but where they failed was getting an offensive guru to run the offense to marriage that, to couple with his great defensive thinking. They realized what happened with that. So when we got McDaniel, they said, look, go get the best defensive coordinator available, pay him whatever he wants, and bring him over here because we got an offensive guy that can figure it out, and we need somebody to man this defense. And they went and got Fangio. And I like that. I don't think people talk about that enough, even though people say Fangio, whatever. But again, the same people say, oh, you got to give time. It takes time. But Fangio was his first year. They want to get rid of him. But go ahead.
Well, no, I think
Well,
I think the perfect example, right? Javon Holland, and I haven't seen it yet. Once I get off here, I'm gonna go see if I can find it. But I guess there's a radio show in South Florida where Channing Crowder and some other guy are on the radio or whatever.
Yeah.
And supposedly Javon Holland was on that show. They were doing an interview with Javon Holland. I guess Javon Holland has a weekly show there where he hops on for a couple minutes and he talks to those guys. And supposedly what I heard today was Javon Holland was up there and he was saying, like laughing up on the thing with those guys.
He was like, man, that was a good play. Yeah, he was. He was shucking and jiving.
So he was chucking and jiving, right? And he was saying,
type shit, right?
He was like, we were standing on the sidelines and we were so amazed at Lamar, right?
Yeah.
That's not toughness to me.
Shit.
Yeah.
And again, if you're saying that, bro, again, how can I blame McDaniel for that? If you were Javon Holland, right? If you were Javon Holland and you are a third year player, next year is your last year. You should be looking and playing for your money. McDaniel's not out there making no tackles. McDaniel's not out there that's going to receive this check that you are looking for. So when I see a video or I hear somebody that plays on our team that is supposed to be a defensive leader of ours, right? and you're chucking and jiving after someone just hung up 56 points on you, and you're on a radio station laughing and giggling, talking about, man, we were so amazed at Amar. How am I supposed to put that on a coach?
No,
Hey, Lewis,
homie,
didn't
you just got
crazy.
you just got your butt whipped. And I wish I could cuss here, but I'm gonna respect the platform because shout out to Larry K, man, that's my guy. But dog,
Was that on his Instagram stuff, Lewis?
No, that was on the actual radio in South
that's
Florida.
on YouTube. It's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube, right? On YouTube. That's what I heard. I heard it was a clip.
Oh, okay.
Bro, how can I blame Mike McDaniel for that, homie?
Nah,
you was on the field. You was just on the field, got your butt whooped up and down the field, got 56 hung up on you, and 2 days later you're on the radio talking like it was nothing. Nah, bro, that's a player issue.
Hey, hold up. Now I'm with you on that. And I know exactly what you're talking about because I watched it myself. And I was like, dang, man, he's out here. But I look at that more as, he's out there giving credit. He's like, man, it kind of sucks because at one point you're getting toasted, but at the other point it's like, damn, man, you see something great happening and you don't have no choice but to, as a fan of the game. So let's put it in proper context. He's saying as a fan of the game, he's like, I'm a football fanatic. He's like, it's kind of hard not to admire certain things that he did. He's like, so, he's like, you're watching it, it sucks, and you're gritting your teeth and like, that was a nice pass or whatever. But if you watch, and he's one of my favorite players, he's out there, he ain't skinning and grinning on the field. He's laying wood, or he's stripping the ball, or he's playing football, So that might just be his after the fact, giving credit where credit's due and just saying, speaking honestly. But do you see him as a soft guy on the field? Honest opinion. Now listen, he just missed a whole bunch of time.
Hold on, isn't Holland the same
time? This is his first game back, so maybe he had to knock some rust off, and he didn't play to the best of his ability. But can you sit there and say he ain't one of the best players we have on defense and don't lay that wood?
Well, again,
he ain't no dog. Are you saying he ain't a dog?
Hold on,
yeah, absolutely.
Isn't Holland one of the guys last year that was all over Instagram?
Yeah, laying on the floor, Michael K. Crying about the flan. Yeah. Listen, at the end of the day, bro,
crying about the fan base at that point. Yeah, he was.
And this was crying about the fan base, but he was talking about the fan base dogging the quarterback. He's trying to bat the quarterback.
But right there, but
on this panel.
Yeah, but he wasn't accept positive critique about the quarterback.
But listen, as far as play is
concerned, about that,
who on here says that you say he ain't a dog on the field?
Me.
You?
Me?
No, you agree with him? Javon Holland ain't no dog.
He's not.
No, just because you're a good player, bro. No. See, hold on, and this is where I would disagree with you, right? And this is one of the first times I disagree with you.
Okay.
Just because you're a good player, don't make you no dog. Christian Wilkins is a good player. Christian Wilkins ain't no dog.
Christian Wilkins ain't a dog?
No, he ain't no dog. No, bro. Christian Wilkins is that. Christian Wilkins is that. Hey, Christian, listen, you can say what you want.
Look, Shake's over here. Look, Shake's
well, I have to agree with that. He's good, but he's not a dog. Just look at his style.
Christian Wilkins wants to do Power Ranger moves, kiss babies, and smack butts on the sideline.
That's what people down 20 yards up the field, man.
Yeah, exactly. That means you're a good player. That That doesn't mean you're a dog, though.
That man out there putting in work.
He ain't. Well, let me ask you. Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, and then we can get
a dog on our team. Who's your dog?
Man, dog on our team.
I would say Ramsey. Ramsey's a dog.
Maybe Ramsey and Tyreek.
Jalen Ramsey is definitely a dog.
Okay.
Maybe Ramsey and Tyreek.
I'll be honest.
Hold up. The same Jalen Ramsey that
those
got
are the two.
Trying to tackle the mayonnaise coffee drinker. They got truck, head up fade, and got folded. That is your dog.
Okay. Well, that thing. Let me.
That's your dog.
Oh, okay.
One time.
Okay. And
you one-on-one versus the quarterback and got folded.
And he got folded up. And
who got folded up?
I will agree with you.
Ramsey.
Yeah, he got folded up by Will.
He was tired.
Like a cheap
no.
suitcase. Folded like a lawn chair. Ain't no dog.
You guys are
football, like you said.
Okay, and that's fine. And that's fine. And I'll give you that, right? See, but Crypto and Shake are trying to let you off the hook. I agree. He got folded up. He got folded up by Will Levis, right? I agree.
Guy that puts mayonnaise in his coffee, admitted.
And I'm with you, and But if I could tell you right now that I can send you screenshots of stuff of Christian Wilkins, your dog, getting folded up all Sunday afternoon by the Ravens. Was he a dog? Was he a dog on Sunday night or Sunday? Did you see any dog in Christian Wilkins?
He had an off game. He didn't play.
And so did
Jalen
Was
Ramsey.
he getting jumped the whole time? Was he getting jumped the whole time, or was it all head up fades that he was getting dogged out?
No. There was some head up fades.
No.
There was some head up fades.
Okay. Who did have a good game against Baltimore on our defense?
Zach Seiler.
Seiler.
Yeah.
He got the
Seiler had a good game.
7-second sack.
He got
That's
the
what- hey, that's a-
got
that's
one
a-
7
If we got any silver lining, because that
He
was
got
like a
covered
7-second
and
sack.
the strip. I'll give him that.
Okay, so Zach Seiler is one that
What
showed
else
up.
did he do?
You want well again, he did more than Christian Wilkins.
Oh, that's one
Way
time.
more. He was light years ahead of Christian Wilkins.
He
That's
won
not-
that game. His other games is because Christian Wilkins getting jumped. He's fighting 2-3
Nah.
people, and Zach Wilson goes and fights one and hits him when he ain't looking. It's
No.
what it is. Let's call it what it is.
They got he got another
No.
opportunity to get 2 more sacks against a rushing quarterback, and he got 1 game to do it, and he's probably gonna disappear like a ghost yet again.
Hold up, Crypto. You talking about Christian Wilkins?
Yeah.
Okay, now you come back Tuesday. We're gonna revisit this Tuesday. I'm gonna hold you to that. I'm gonna say I disagree with
Yeah.
that.
And
We'll see you
and if he
Tuesday.
get a sack on Josh Allen because Josh Allen held onto the ball too long and he gift wrapped him a sack.
Okay.
Not because he blew up an offensive lineman.
Okay. And last year when he broke the record for most tackles at his position in the history of the NFL, it was because of what?
He didn't break a record.
He did break a record. Get out
You
of
talking
here.
about break a
What the
record?
hell you talking about?
He did
man?
break a record. He got the
No, he
most
wasn't.
tackles.
What do you mean broke a
He
record?
was like the third.
Man,
in
he
tackles?
broke
Exactly.
the
What do you
NFL
mean break a
record for
record?
most tackles at his position last season.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
Okay. We'll look it up. Look it up.
Man, I'm
Look
telling
it
you,
Look it
fans be straight embellishing the freaking
Look it
numbers,
up.
man.
Just look it up.
Okay. I'm looking up right now.
Biggest
Hold on.
biggest Pro Bowl snub ever in the history of Pro Bowl snubs.
Now, I could say he broke the record in stealing other players' towels, but that's about it.
Good enough.
That's it's gonna be a telltale if he can't even sniff the backfield on Sunday.
We'll see.
Who has the-
You can't
I
earn a
believe in him.
reputation at
That's his
beating up
dog, Crypto.
cream puff offensive lines.
Okay. Who's your dog on the Crypto? Who's your dog on the team?
I already
Defense.
named 2 players. I said
Tyreek.
Ramsey and Tyreek Hill.
Oh, Ramsey and Tyreek Hill. Okay, I Tyreek Hill. I agree with that. Ramsey, I'm like my guy Lou with Ramsey. He's a good football player, but he ain't no dog. Talk good, he talks. He's got a dog talk. He's got a dog personality, but you can't give me an example of a dog in the history of the NFL that had a head up fade with a quarterback and got folded. Show them to me. Show me where Troy Polamalu got
Darrell
folded.
Reeves. I
Darrell
can show
Reeves
you
wasn't
some
no dog
highlights
like
of
this
Darrell
one.
Reeves getting run over.
To me, maybe we got different understandings of what a dog is. A dog is an animal. When it comes to, especially for a lesser animal, you ain't never losing that battle. Now you might run into force meets another unstoppable force like Eddie George and Ray Lewis, and Eddie George might get off sometimes. But when Ray Lewis runs into a Rashard Mendenhall, he gonna break his shoulder. Type stuff. That's what I'm talking about. A dog is. You ain't losing to no lesser human being on that field. That's a dog to me. Not
How many pounds? How many pounds does Sam Howell weigh? I'm just curious.
Sam Howell. Who is Sam Howell? The quarterback for the Washington Redskins?
Yeah,
What does he have to do with anything we're talking about?
you just said he just got cooked by him.
He got.
Hey,
I didn't say he got cooked. I said he got folded by Levis. The mayonnaise.
Okay, how much? Okay, how much did Levis? How much? Will Levis weigh?
You're a defensive player. Your whole life has been built on tackling and
I don't care about none of that. If he
I
weighs
do.
more than
I
him,
do.
that's
This
a
guy's
physics
quarterback,
that's a
bro.
physics equation.
Right, it's
Hey,
not
Crypto.
physics, man.
What was that?
Crypto, can you answer me a question real quick?
Yeah,
So
you
so
breaking up.
Christian Wilkins, Crypto,
Sorry.
this dog, right?
By the way, go ahead.
hmm
So Christian Wilkins, this dog, you do realize that the Baltimore Ravens this Sunday, they're starting left, I think it was left guard, one of the positions that
It
Christian
was missing
Wilkins
3
lined up
players.
against. You know there
Right.
was a backup that stood up Christian Wilkins for most of the game, right? You know that was a backup doing that, right?
Oh yeah,
But hey,
I had front row seats to that.
by the way,
That guy getting pancaked.
by the way, the story does check out. Christian Wilkins did break the single.
Yeah, I know it does. Y'all the ones that y'all are like I don't know what I'm like. I'm gonna just be up here making stuff up. If I quote
Okay, you acting like he broke it by a mile. What is it about one tackle?
I'm trying to justify anything. Listen now. One thing about it and two things for sure. If it's my opinion on something, I'll say that's my opinion. But if I come up here and say, man, that's what it is, I guarantee you'll never say, well, you were wrong. You were wrong. Now, I might be, my opinion is just opinion. You can't be wrong. But I'm not going to come up here and say
okay, congratulations. He broke the sack record. He broke the tackle record by one tackle. Congratulations.
So minimize it because you ain't a fan of his. So you'll minimize anything that he does.
I'm not minimizing. That's not minimizing. Just stating the fact that it was.
Yo, how long is this? How many great players are there at his position, right, that have played in the history of the NFL? He did something none of them have ever done in the history of the NFL.
It happens when you when you pay a bunch of cream puff offensive lines. Yeah, it works.
See what I'm saying? You're gonna minimize it because
I get it.
But that's cool. But
I ain't minimizing. That's just stating the fact. That's just the context of it.
That did something no other player has done in his position. And
yeah, by one tackle.
Many great players at that position that weren't able to obtain that. So you got to, you can say what you want, but it is what it is.
He's still a jabroni, so it don't.
Yeah,
still a jabroni, right? For three guys up here, that don't like him, and that you're gonna minimize it.
I never said I didn't like him. I'm just putting I'm just putting his work in context.
If it's somebody, but listen though.
Just like you minimize everything Tua does.
I'm just putting the work he did in context.
I do minimize everything Tua does.
Exactly.
When it comes to, you didn't let me finish. When it comes to games that matter, that have contingencies attached to it, I minimize everything he does. Show me a game where,
and that's what I'm doing with. Didn't the Baltimore Ravens have points on it to get in the backfield with Lamar Jackson? Didn't it have some contingencies? Didn't it have some importance in the Ravens game? We was fighting for a #1 seed. It was incumbent for him to get. You got a quarterback that's about to get the MVP. It's incumbent upon your defensive lineman to figure out a way to get to him.
Right.
You ain't gonna tell me that wasn't important.
I'm not gonna tell you it ain't. That's one game. Name another game.
Okay, and there's many other ones.
Now, okay,
the Chiefs.
There's many other ones. Hold up.
The Eagles.
Hold up, Crypto.
Baltimore.
Give me one game Tua has done it.
That he's done what?
Come on, don't.
Dallas.
Don't act like Dallas. Dallas. Are you kidding me?
Yes. You said Dallas? Give you one game. That's one game that he done it where we had the game-winning drive.
I'm gonna
don't minimize it.
I'm gonna give you. I'm not minimizing it. I'm not minimizing it because. To me, the Dallas was our running backs that got us where we needed to be. It was Tyreek that got us where we needed to be.
Who do you think handed him the ball?
On third and 3, that was a pass. That was a pass to Tyreek Hill. That wasn't a running back.
Yeah, exactly. You minimized
the time that the game was sealed, it was 3rd and 3.
And that's all that is.
And it was a Tyreek Hill screen.
Yep. That's all.
That came out of Tua's arm.
It came out of Tua's arm. With nobody in between him and him, a yard away behind the line of scrimmage. Tyreek made that play happen. Come on, man. Miss me with
that. Tyreek made it happen, but who threw him the ball?
Minimizing it, that's all.
Right.
Now you just minimized it. He had to throw the ball, right?
Yeah, he threw the ball because he.
Hey, is it 100% that a quarterback completes a pass?
Ronnie Brown to be in a Wildcat in order for a quarterback to not get the recognition for a play to happen. That's it, right? It's got to
What
be a
does Ronnie
wild
Brown got to
play
do with
where the
this?
quarterback has zero to do with it.
What does Ronnie Brown got to do with this?
We giving credit for that now. That shows how crazy your argument is. We giving credit.
That has nothing to do with. That has nothing to do with the price of beer in Germany. It has nothing to do with the price of beer in Germany. Nothing.
Michael K could do
it has nothing to do with the price of beer in Germany. Nothing.
Fresh off the toilet.
Not at all.
Make the same plays that Tua did on that drive.
No, he couldn't because he'll throw it in the dirt.
No.
Just like Josh Allen did.
Throw it in the dirt. What you talking about?
I'm gonna do it just like Josh Allen did on 4th and 5 against us. Throw it in the dirt. That's not a guaranteed play, and you know this.
Hey, I know that, but I know
the quarterback did throw it in the dirt when it looked like it was an easy walk in, and they threw it in the dirt. So that's not an easy play for the throw, just an easy screen like that.
I already gave.
It's not 100%.
Credit. I gave Tua the credit. First quarter on CB83's comment section said, "Look, Tua finally did something that I wanted to see him do. He didn't lose us the game. A game that mattered. He didn't lose the game. Did he play great? Heck no. But did he not throw the game away? No. Man, that man played mediocre as crazy the whole game. Mediocre. The one touchdown pass he threw was a great catch from Raheem, dead wide open, nobody around. He had to tip the ball back to himself to make it a touchdown. The rest of that game, man, was mediocre. Crazy mediocre.
That shows you that any quarterback could have missed that throw.
But listen, that's all I ask from him. When it comes to these big moments and everything else is working right, like I say, it has to be for us to win with Tua. Just don't throw the game
No one
away.
disagrees with that point.
That's it.
That's what I'm saying. I think Christian Wilkins is in that same light. He needs everything perfect around him to survive.
When there was some contingencies and it mattered that he didn't throw almost an interception. He ain't thrown not almost one almost interception that whole game. First one I saw.
Yeah.
How does he follow
what game
that
you
up?
talking about?
What happened against Baltimore? What am I talking? What are you talking about? When did he?
I was at the Baltimore game.
You was at the Baltimore game? So what were you watching?
Yes.
What were you watching?
What you mean? What I watched? I was watching the goddamn game.
Triple coverage several times. Throw the ball dead to the.
I'm not saying he didn't play bad against Baltimore. That's not my point.
That's what I'm saying.
You arguing something that I'm not arguing.
And I'm gonna tell you something. I go to a bunch of games. You don't see the game at the stadium like we do on the television. You ain't seen it like
that. You don't see it because those are biased cameras. I got my naked eyes on it. My naked eyes are better than the cameras.
My guy, you don't see.
My naked eyes are better than the camera.
That sounds good. It sounds real good.
And I'm right there sitting at the 50-yard line. I can see perfect.
Okay, so perfect. Then you perfect.
You believe in those biased cameras all you want. And the camera will show you what they want and what angle they want.
How do you grade his game against Baltimore? With your perfect eye
against
vision,
Baltimore?
50-yard line. What's your grade?
My final grade for him is D+.
Okay, all right then. All right, I salute your perfect vision then. Apologies. Okay, I thought you were saying something different. I'm sorry. I'll go D+. Okay. Apologies. I thought you were trying to say something like.
No, I'm not going in that A-B category like what's his name's trying to go.
No. See, I thought you was doing that. My bad. I'm sorry. I was wrong. Forgive me. Okay, you got good vision, my guy. I agree with you.
Hey, man. Hey, listen, man. I got nothing but love.
No, I wasn't going down the 2-0 route.
I thought that's why I apologize. I was wrong. I can admit it. But I thought you was. That's what I thought you was trying to say when you said 50-yard line.
No.
What? Well, you got some.
I mean, I may have took a popcorn break every now and then. You know, at the time I was still sitting in the stands on all of our possessions.
Okay.
Matter of fact, at halftime, I ain't even leave out my seat.
That's a fair grade because listen, he did. There was them drop passes, and I'm a believer, man, in momentum. And so if Tyreek catches that pass, I believe in momentum. I believe that gives our defense come out something to fight with. If Claypool catches that pass, these things matter, man. So I'm not blaming it all on Tua. I believe in momentum, man. And
but see, the thing is,
when you drop
people fail to realize that drop pass by Claypool only helped the pad Tua's stats, but he still drove us down to get the scoring touchdown on that drive. That
He
only
did.
would have added to Tua's numbers. Not necessarily it didn't take away from the team because we still scored on that drive. It's just
Yeah.
that it would have added to Tua's numbers. That's all that would have did.
It would have though,
Which
but
means the score would be no different because we still scored. We still lost by 37 points. That's the problem.
yeah, but listen, the time that's left on the clock, you know, and just a great catch over two defenders, that type of stuff, great catches, get teammates hyped. You know, big plays, man, turn up the team, and it takes the air out of the stadium. Then the defense starts to wonder, are we having
They
another
weren't taking
thing
no
like
out of that
last year?
stadium.
And
They was determined not to let us come back in that game.
right. And
They wasn't about to let it happen what happened last year. That was on their mind.
Yeah.
They like once they get a double-digit lead, they was determined not to let it go.
Yeah.
Hey, damn right, we Wolfpack, baby.
That's the thing. What you say, Shake Money?
I was telling Finn Steak, yeah, damn right, we Wolfpack, and we're doing an orientation this Friday. We bring, coffee and donuts, and we validate parking.
Validate parking.
Yeah, right, exactly. I think you need to validate CB.
Yeah, man. And by the way,
you need to validate CB's parking because
January
he's gonna get told.
January with the January what you call it, orientation, the first 10 people, 20 people get the Wolfpack calendar.
There you go. And when you validate parking, make sure CB83 know that he's got to get in early because he's gonna get told. He's gonna get told if he's gonna get his parking validated.
Yeah.
We're gonna tow you out of it. We towing.
No, man. Hey, listen, man. I'm gonna wrap this up. We've been on for like 3 hours. I know, you know what I mean.
Yeah, we had.
There's Fred in the chat. Nene, what's going on, Nene? I got the apple cider. You said you finished the greens. I got the apple cider for you.
Hey, much love. Hey, much respect for everybody who showed up. Appreciate Lewis and Michael K. Definitely appreciate you. Appreciate my man Sal Bundy over in the building. Fred Dunlap.
Yeah.
CB83. We hope CB83 is going to be our special guest tomorrow on Insomnia. By the way, Nene.
Shoot me the link to that after you guys film.
Special guest.
Shakes.
Yeah.
Oh, yep.
Dolphinier, Fred, and what's going on, everybody. I appreciate y'all coming through, man. Please make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Chris 7,
like
you know what
subscribe.
I mean? So,
Crypto Tuesday night.
Damn.
Make sure you show up.
Who?
Hey Lou, I'll see you Sunday.
This is gonna
guy.
be whether or not Wilkins actually get his. He's not gonna get a dog award. He's gonna get a poodle award.
Okay,
We're gonna give him the poodle award.
That's what
He's a poodle.
And Lou, I'll see you Sunday. So I'll get your apology.
hey,
I'll get your apology to Christian immediately following the game, my dude. East 12.
Immediately, Christian Poodle. Christian Poodle.
Know.
Hey, listen. You're gonna be seeing Buffalo Trace. Hear me?
Yeah. That's right. I don't know what kind of time I'm gonna get some fancy tequila for the game. Lou, tequila on Sunday, my dude. I'll see you there. East 12. Be there.
I got some cigars too.
Oh, that's right. Lou gonna be in the building.
Lou gonna be there. Shake's gonna be there. Right, Shakes, you coming?
Yeah.
Dolphin winners.
I'm gonna
I don't know if y'all know Dolphin. He's coming.
I'm gonna drink now because Lou's gonna be my designated driver. So hell yeah, I'm gonna be drinking my ass off.
Okay, now watch this. Luke, how you gonna be a designated driver? I'm getting some fancy tequila. You got to take a couple.
You know what? What should I drink out of my wine collection, Shake? I need a quick advice on out of my collection I got. What should I go with, the dark or the white wine?
Surf or turf?
We'll talk right after this. We'll talk backstage.
I got to figure something out quick.
So, all right, guys. Michael K, any closing thoughts?
Just reports are that 52% of the fans in the stands will be Bills.
I knew he was going to say that. God damn.
According to ticket data from BroBio.
Oh God.
I'm just saying, you're going to see a lot of.
Why did I know you was going to say that? Damn, Michael K.
These New Yorkers come down to Florida.
You buying into propaganda, Michael K. You know that.
BroBio.
That's propaganda.
Fake news.
That's propaganda. You know that.
Do a Google search.
Well,
We'll talk about it
you come
backstage.
down, Michael K.
Google
You
is
come down
Hey,
to the
listen,
game.
they're the cheap
Google- hey,
propagandists.
listen,
They
Google
run
is
the whole
part of the deep
propaganda
state. What are you talking
outfit.
about? Google's part of the deep state. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
Well, you know what? Well, first of all, it's January in Florida, so half the people in Florida are from New York.
They're all from
That's
New York.
number one.
All right.
And you know what's funny? Michael K, real talk, the neighbors that live across the street from me are Buffalo Bills fans.
See,
Dude, when you
Damn.
see it,
My
just
guy's
say
got a
"Go
couple of
Bills," it'll
Floridians
freak them
living
out.
across the street.
They'll think you came to the dark side.
No,
Crypto,
man.
good talking to you, brother. Everybody in the
Yeah.
chat, say everybody peace,
those-
man. Michael K, good to see you. Shakes.
Thanks for having me. It's been a blast.
And a couple of piranhas before I say, listen, I'd rather make out with Whoopi Goldberg before I say go Bills.
That's right.
Oh God. Damn.
Whoopi Goldberg. Christian Wilkins does look a little like Whoopi.
Oh, see, look, you guys got it. Even you got Michael K on
Finish,
the,
guys.
on the Christian hating bandwagon.
All right, man.
Hey, hold up, before we go. Hey, CB83, what's your take on Christian Wilkins? Dog or poodle? I mean, if he is a dog, is he a pit bull or a poodle? I got to hear CB83 before we cut off, man. Hopefully he hears this and he it's in the comment section. If he don't give it, I'll give him 10 seconds. Otherwise, we can sign off. Let me see what my guy has to say.
Definitely a poodle.
Oh, he ain't responding. He might have already signed off. Okay, Costa Nostra, dog. That's one. My guy might have already left. CB83 left already. Okay. Hey, you guys have a
Those
great
guys
rest
have been in that
count.
cabinet.
Yeah. Lou, I'm gonna hold you to that Sunday, my dude. A German Shepherd. Okay. You guys are in the minority, man. I'm telling you, the guy is look at it. Tay, she got a cat emoji. She's wilding. You know what I'm saying?
The cat.
All right, guys. Have a good
Damn.
night.
All right, man. Fins up, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peace.
Yep.
I know you heard me on the radio flexing. She loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day.